finally back for another tier list. We're finally doing the endings. I'm gonna get through stuff like I promised I would get through stuff. Welcome in, Kari. Good to see you. Oh, I would have streamed earlier, but I've got one friend who's like, we should do things together. And I was like, not on Sundays though. And he's like, but what if we did it on a Sunday? So we did spend all day going to like every gardening shop and trying to find plants. I really want to do this thing with plants where I have like my bathroom, but I want to like have plants everywhere, make it like a little forest or something. It'd be really, really cute. But like, I need to find plants that do not need a lot of light and need a lot of moisture. But it's coming together and I got a new plant child, so like, I think it was a win-win in the end. But that will not prevent me from coming to tier list land, where we are in the land of tiers, and listing things as we should. And we will be doing endings, going through all of them. It's gonna be harder because, like, seasons have 2 endings, so I don't... There might have been a better tier list for this than just the generic one. But we're going through the art, and we'll play around with it. We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's fun. We'll see what we're doing. It should be okay. It should be fine. And we're starting off strong with Futari and its first ending. Kind of. Like, some of these early endings, I don't remember the way they look. Like, Futari is interesting because, like, they have this whole cheerleader bit, and then they do the walk. And it's crazy to think that this is, like, one of the most iconic. Like, this is one of the OG seasons. And the ending, to me, other than it, like, creating that whole thing where we just do this ending over and over and over again for the first few seasons, like, visually, it's not doing anything particularly unique. And, like, it's so interesting because they go very hard with endings now. Like, color coordination, set dressing, everything is, like, super deeply thought out now. But it's not in the beginning times. In these early times, it looks so, like, generic. And we'll play. I don't know. Like, why is this yellow color? Like, it's just, they had such weird color choices for Precure, to me. Before, like, they decided to have style. Because it's just like, here's a brown floor, a speaker, a yellow wall, and then this, like, lined TV. Which, now that I think about it, whenever they've done, like, technology and stuff, like, Wonderful did this a lot. It had this, like, there's a word for it. Lacerated is not the right word for it. But, like, these bars that go across horizontally, they did this texture a bunch in, Wonderful. And I wonder if it's, like, a callback. I doubt it is. Like, it's just so obscure, but, like... I don't know. Believe it or not, the first Futari ending is not going anywhere special for me. It's just... other than just they dance, but, like, visually it's doing nothing unique. I think the coolest part of this is when they have, like, the 2 girls, like, in their, like, moments. But this, it's so whatever. And then I think we just go right into Max Heart, which I'll get back to that. I literally... Oh, I need to do my tiers. I need to do my tier. If I can remember them. Alright, we have Wedding Cake, if I can type. We've got Wedding Cake. Donut. Brownie. Brownie. I think we had Cookie with Icing was the next one. Cooking with Icing. Health Bar. And then we had Just Sugar. And if we needed salt, if this gets all, like, intense, we may have a... Oh, just sugar. We may have to have a salt tier for this, because there are endings that are just visually the worst, and that, so far, is Futari. Futari is very boring. I also somehow full screened this, and I didn't mean to, and I would like it to not be full screen anymore. Help. Oh my god. Also, it's leaking. Get back. Why? No. No, incorrect. Out of there. Yeah, don't be full screen. Don't confuse me like that. Okay. If we get to the Max Heart one, I do remember them. They actually visually do something. Like, there is just nothing visually going on for Futari. It's very generic. It's very boring. Here they do very iconic backgrounds like this, like, because technically speaking, they did this in the Sailor Moon era where they had like these very aesthetic backgrounds, and I just don't know why Futari was so boring. But we get this like fun abstract background. They loved their like circles, their little circles with gradation on it to give it some dimension, and then of course the iconic feather that we can't escape in Magical Girl series. But like this one, like they do a little TV bit where you see what happened in the episode and then they go to another like abstract, like this is so early 2000s. This is so insanely early 2000s. And they just, at least they had something going on. They had the fairies. Obviously it's definitely lower effort, but like this just, it's so quirky. They have the unique frames. Like it's definitely not the level of production that we are used to nowadays. But, like, they were trying something. They actually did something visually, so I can't have it be in the same tier as Futari. This is why we have a strong chance that we're going to have, like, a assault category by the end of it. But we have improved, and we stand improvement in this household. We like to see growth from it. But I do really love the abstract backgrounds. Like, they're just so early 2000s. And then they do just, like, some freeze frames, which is kind of a bummer that there's so many freeze frames. There's, like, zero animation. Oh, it did have a second one. Okay. Because I think they did the same song. Which this has, like, animation going on. I'm, like, trying to remember it. No, I don't. Never mind. It's freeze frames. This is how long it's been. This is how long it's been since I've seen an ending. Stop. I kind of preferred it when they actually did, like... I much preferred it when they actually had more stuff visually going on. Hi, Rosie! How are you today? Yeah, I actually liked the first ending more for Max Heart than whatever this is. But at least, like, they're doing... It's, everything is better. I'm literally gonna go ahead. Like, can I duplicate this? Can I duplicate? I need 2 Max Hearts. So I'm gonna have to start averaging endings. Oh my god, I wish there was a way to, like, duplicate stuff. I know we're gonna have 2 for each. But, may need to add a row. I'm immediately gonna put in the salt category. Don't like the first ending. But I don't know where to... I need to duplicate these. Maybe, I don't know, should I do, like, an ending 1 and then, like, come back and do ending 2? I might have to do, like, 2 tier lists to do this. We're gonna pretend like there's no second endings. We'll just do the first one. Great things. I just, I watched Looking for Magical Do-Re-Mi on my Blu-ray player. Oh my god, that's such a vibe! Yo, you got pictures? You got pictures? You posted them on socials? Let me see them? That's so, like, that's such a vibe, though. That's such a fun thing to do on a Sunday. It's been years since I've watched that movie. I kind of need to rewatch it. I feel like it's not talked about enough. Okay, so new plan. We're gonna pretend that there's no such thing as second endings. We're only doing first endings, and we'll do a round 2, and we will do second endings. So erase my memory of this. We did not do this. There's a third ending? Okay. And there's Max... Oh, well, we're not doing the movie endings. That's too much for me. I forgot some series have, like, quadruple endings. Okay. Again, don't really remember the endings for Splash Star. It's been too long. Like, it's definitely more, like, this is so of the time period. Like, I think it became so synonymous with, like, this time period to just kind of have, like, a moody little ending. I'm trying to remember what season we just had, like, maybe it was Fresh. Was Fresh the one where we just started having, like, fun 3D dances and, like, really went into the aesthetic and stopped trying to do other stuff? They were just so experimental with these first few seasons. You did some on Blue Sky? I'm gonna give it a look. Cute! Cute, I love it. Alright. So, how I feel about the first ending for Splash Star that I just genuinely don't remember. It's such a timepiece. It's hard. It's gonna be so hard to rate these because they're not like the way they do endings now. It's just kind of an emotional, cute piece. I think it's fine. For what I barely remember of it, I think the first one, F cookie, that's not correct. Get out of here. No one wants you. Maybe I'll just put it in health bar. I think it's okay. I think it is a product of its time. But we'll come back. We'll see what it's doing. As for that, we'll just skip ahead and go to the first ending for Yes 5. Which I do vaguely have more memory of. So I think it's another one where they kind of do vibes, but they do more, like, again, they go back to doing patterns. Like, at the very least, the patterns feel correct. Doing some kind of fun pattern in the background and showcasing the characters and having a fun little song feels more like a vibe. Like, this just feels kind of like an ending. Because I feel like endings for me in the Precure era feel like they should not be literal. They feel like they should be very graphic design based. I don't want to see a lot of realism in it. Or not realism, but, like, scenery. So for being, like, for it to going back to being, like, pattern-based is more... I have no idea what I've done to this player. I've been doing things today I did not know I could do to my computer. Alright. Yeah, I don't know why the frame keeps changing. Back here. No. This one. Yeah, okay. Yes 5, I think, is a step up from the other two. I will put it in Cookie. Put it in Cookie. Yes 5-1 is fine. Okay, Yes 5 Go-Go ending. Another one that I have to remember. Because is it the one where they dance? At some point they'd be dancing. Yeah, I think this is the dancey one. I have more memories of this. Where, again, we have visual backgrounds, we have the characters kind of vibing around. Just, I love these... I love the cutout. I love it when they do, like, the paper cutout, so it kind of looks like you're journaling or something. I love that. Abstract backgrounds. It's doing the things I want. It's not giving much, but it's giving enough. I'm gonna put you in health bar. I think you're fine. I kind of liked the Yes 5 one a little. But we're getting to, like, what is known as the ending visuals, which I think now we're finally moving past the exceptions and we're going right to the core. We're going to the fresh ending one. Now, this is where they, like, solidified what Precure is. It is a dance. It is a dance that kids are gonna get obsessed with. And visually, like, it changed the game. Is this the highest quality? Can I not go higher? Oh, 240p. That's rough, buddy. Now, if we look in between the pixels, I love this. Like, I have a lot of fondness for this type of era backgrounds. Like, I think I like this better with this kind of, like, print because it stays more on theme. Like, I think them doing kind of, like, the discotheque lights and then the discotheque board at the bottom is more appealing to me. They all fall into this category of, like, what if we just put them outside and we're in the sky? They lose me a little there, but they come back and bring it back. Like, this to me is just visually, despite it being the pixel monster that it is. So sad the quality is like this. It's still one of, like, I feel like this is just iconic. This changed the game. The other ones didn't know what they were doing, but we figured out the Precure ending formula here. We got the dancing. We got the visuals. Hello, I've missed the start, but I'm here now. Welcome in, Marcos. How are you? Oh, my triple well, it did. I'm super tired, and I'm so glad to be back. I am not meant for traveling, but I think 90% of my issue is motion sickness. Oh, I suffer severely from motion sickness. But I made it back in one piece. I've recovered. I'm back in the seat. I'm making content again. I'm happy. I think, like, Fresh is just such a solid one. I'm putting in Brownie. I think it's just, it does what it needs to do for visual endings. And, like, it really changed the game with its 3D. Now, moving to our other first one, we have HeartCatch ending one, which, thank God we're not doing the music because I think people will roast me for my music opinions. But this one's so good. Like, visually, like, they took what we created in Fresh and just ran with it. Like, look how detailed this is. Like, 3D was not fantastic at this point in time, and these characters are, like, really hard to do in 3D and not make them look terrible because of how, like, stylized it is. But they did such a fantastic job. Like, this is, like, look how good these models look pre, like, VTube era. This is, like, 2010, and it looks this good. Welcome in, Pink Gotchberry. How are you today? That's good. A lot of things happened with me too the past 2 weeks, but I'm feeling better. I'm glad. I'm sorry if you've been going through a lot. I have to check the endings to remember them all. Literally, we went through the first few ones and I'm like, I don't remember this. I don't remember what this one was doing. This one is really good. I agree. I love HeartCatch. HeartCatch did so good. Like, I think HeartCatch, with the way it set itself up, made some things harder for, like, the 3D team. Like, I think the 2D team was like, yes, HeartCatch. I think the 3D team was like, no, HeartCatch. But they did a really good job. Like, so much of the backgrounds for this is great. And, like, I think the only thing is it's not uber flower themed. I would say that the second ending gets a little more flower themed. But this one, like, having kind of the groovy energy and, like, you know, just it's just these two kind of being at school early season, it really captures that well. Welcome in, Kierwing. How are you today? But, like, the first visuals are great. The school scene is super duper cute. The dance moves are really adorable. The 3D models were doing a lot. They're also very expressive for what they are. Like, honestly, very impressive for the era that this in. Because, like, 3D was not fantastic. Like, if you compare these models to what they were doing for Love Live, you're like, these are significantly better than Love Live. Significantly better than Love Live. Like, they were really starting to get it. And, like, I love this, because, like, the other theme that ends up being so big in HeartCatch is the fashion side of stuff, and I feel like this one leans more in on the fashion. It also, there's a lot of, one of the big iconography things that they do for HeartCatch that you may not notice is they do these strips. These, like, lace strips is something they do in a lot. Like, it's in the cover for their video games. I love the lace stripping that they do, kind of tying in the fashion theme. I love that that's consistent. I love that they color it up. I love lace. Lace in general is like one of my favorite textures that Precure uses, which is something I didn't mention about the eye catch. The new eye catch does the rotating doilies, just like we did from the Go Princess era. I should have mentioned that in my review today because it's one of my favorite things and I was so happy to see it again. I was so mad that I forgot to mention that for the review. But I love the doilies. How is my day going? It's going well. How is yours? But visually, this one was cooking. I think it's so fun. Again, I love these, like, technically they have the more, like, realistic background in the beginning, but again, the graphical stuff is my favorite. I really like the endings when they do more graphical visuals. I feel like it just kind of goes with the vibe a little bit more. And then, like, again, just like I said for Fresh, they're like, but what if we took them outside? What if we put them out here? But to be fair, instead of, like, just being a blue sky, which they do lean on the blue sky with some of the endings. I like that this one is, like, got something more going on in the background. It's kind of just, like, a void. Like, this, like, big void. Thank you for the follow, R. How are you today? Erika Kurumi. I love this girl. She's so good. Hi, Em. How are you? I love this idea. The ending fits are good. They are! Oh my god. We love a fashion girl. True. Hi, Leo. How are you today? I saw you. Oh my god. Remind me the name of the type of bird, because it's not quite a parrot. It's, like, adjacent to a parrot. It was so cute. And you just said, are they wild? Sorry, if you guys have not been checking out Leo's socials, he's got this little bird that just comes and hangs out with him and, like, hangs out on his shoulder. And I'm like, I didn't know they could do that. It's so cute. Highly recommend his IG. I'm going to Japan this May. I'm excited. I'm mega jealous. You better take all the photos, Kira. That sounds awesome. Tsubomi Hanasaki is such a sweetheart. She is. Dude, I love HeartCatch. It is one of my all-time favorite seasons. But yeah, visually, like, look at this. Like, for being 2010, like, from where we were 2 seasons ago, them switching over to 3D was such a good call. Like, this looks beautiful, even on this free frame of low quality, which, you know, they lie and say this is 1080p, this is not 1080p, but whatever. It's cute. I also like these, like, crystal hearts that are, like, flying about. Like, visually, they're good. Like, this is the blueprint for really, really good visual seasons. So, like, even if it's 1, I really, I don't know if I'm gonna put it that high. I'll put it in donut. It's almost perfect. It's such a visually good ending. I've never been a fan of this ending. I'm not doing music today, so like I ain't gonna say nothing about the music yet. But I got a soft spot for it visually. I think they did some clever stuff. But I can understand like it not being the most appealing thing in the universe. It does a lot. Because it does go from like this to this to this. Again, we're only doing first endings because I can't figure out how to duplicate them, and we'll go back and do second endings. Do they not have sweet ending 1? Do they only have sweet ending 2/3? Am I crazy? Where's my normal sweet ending? Oh my god. Yes, I got. Sweet endings 2. Or not ending 2, I want ending 1. What am I doing? Sweet ending 1. I was like, don't come out here and give me not the correct endings I need. I will take pictures, no, but thank you. Da 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 da. I've never had it before. It's very rare to encounter birds that are so sociable. They don't just usually stand on wire. They stand on wires and don't interact. That's what I'm used to. I wonder if it's somebody's pet, because that bird is like ridiculously friendly. I didn't know they could do that, but also we do not have any kind of like wild. I mean, what is the family for that? Like parrots, parakeets, and all that, macaw. Like we don't have those naturally here. They are only like pet animals. In my opinion, the second ending of HeartCatch is better, both visually and song. Love it more, and it's the movie version is super good. I'm not rating it in the tier list, but the movie version pops off. It's so good. For this ending, I like it first of all because it's on theme. I like that they have the stage and it's got the like sheet music stuff going on. I very much prefer a season to try its best to stay on theme. Like I also just love like the logo for the season being the treble clef and a heart. No, it's nice. It's very satisfying. And then like the stage lights and the disco ball, just it feels very on theme. I also like this one dark. I like this one darker because I know we'll get into the second one when we go back. I like that this, for the most part, is much darker and they kind of glow. Because I think these endings should have, more often than not, a darker background because it makes the girls pop. Whenever they have really bright backgrounds, yeah, they do go outside, don't they? Yeah, I kind of hate them going outside with the bright blue sky. As much as I love a good bright blue, I think it just takes out the colors. Like, I feel like it feels way more epic when they're like this. Or like, let me get it darker. Yeah, like this, where you can really see the girls off the dark background. Because when they go bright outside, it kind of feels like it loses some of the energy because everything is visually interesting. Like the notes in the sky, the piano in the horizon, the giant like organ in the back. It's not as exciting. But this is 100% personal preference. Like, for me, I like the contrast. I'm, like, in the same way that for transformations, I much prefer transformations with a dark background, because it makes the characters look way better. Like, I think they started that, like, they went hard on that, I believe, for, like, Delicious Party. They did really good dark backgrounds that I think made the transformations look way better than having, like, overly bright and saturated backgrounds that kind of take away from the characters. The rainbow sheet music is so good. It's so pretty. I love it a lot. The ending is so simple but pretty. The dark background makes it look even better. Yas. Like in Go Pre, they have a dark background for the second ending. You get me. I still love the second music ending of Sweet Precure. It's all of my favorite songs, in my opinion. Cure Beat has saved this season. I agree. 100% right. Ikeda Aya is an icon. For real. Melody and rhythm are so cute in this ending. They are. Also, this is another one where I think this... I don't know, I think it's about, like, the thinness of the characters in the series that make it kind of hard for them to get put into 3D models. Like, I think both HeartCatch and Sweet, I think, have harder characters to 3D model. But I think it's just because they look so stick-like. But their 3D models look pretty good. Again, they look better than Love Live did at the time. I think the only thing Precure has had to fight on is getting the shadowing to look better, because I think having, like, they have normal 3D shadows going on here, which I don't think it's doing any favor. The cell shading that they did on the hair, like, these shadows are painted on. These shadows are painted on the characters. Whereas this shadow is created by the 3D model, and you can tell, like, it rounds the 3D-ness, and they're like, They were fighting between like trying to make 3D models 2.5D, like going more 3D, or if they wanted to lean in on trying to make the characters look 2D. So like I think one of the problems for these seasons is really the 3D didn't get good for a while. Like the 3D was better than most, but it still had a ways to go. So I think I'm gonna stick you up with HeartCatch because I think this is a good one overall, and it sticks very much on theme for me visually. Wonder which Precure season will collab with you in the Idol movie. That's a good question. I hope they do. I hope they don't pull a one. Well, Wonderful did have a collab. What movie didn't? There was some movie that didn't have a collab. Or maybe I'm misremembering. But I do hope they continue this whole collab thing. It would spark joy. Sweet Precure also has funny moments too. There was a goofy, silly season. Not a goofy, silly time. Alright. Moving into the next one. Smile ending 1. I see Smile Precure non-credits ending special. Is that correct? Is this the first one? This is another one I have to like go back to the past. I think this is the first one because it's like da na 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 na, and they dance. This is where I think they really started to get better at the 3D because I think like having the thicker line art did them favors. I think they stuck with thicker line art for quite some time. Like these 3D models and like all of the shadows for the most part being cel shaded instead of like naturally rendered did like I just remember really loving the 3D models for this. Delicious Party didn't have a collab, correct? That's what it was. The one movie I haven't seen. The animation is so sharp compared to the anime version, and I agree the 3D was a bit wacky at the time, but it's definitely improved. Like, honestly, watching Precure 3D improve has been one of my favorite things. Peace missing her cue in the ending falling over. I know. Like, that's the other thing, is that these 3D models also have an insane amount of personality. Like, when, even from far away, because usually you can get the personality when you're close up, but the, like, having some of the personality, like, when they're farther away and stuff, and the expressions, is just, like, it's nice that they can have that. Like, the body language, when we see a full body and we don't have to be zoomed up on our face to know what she's, like, having an emotion. Like, the 3D models here just look so good. They kind of just showed off how good they were. Like, look at this. This is a 3D model, and they're doing such a good job with it. I love Kirby's rock, paper, scissors. Exactly. Her Junkin pull is so cute. Precure sure do love their fourth wall break, especially with some of the goofy, silly characters. The 3D models are kind of okay, I'd say. Understandable. But, like, for the most part, I think the only downside to this, like, I remember super loving this, mostly because I think they do such a phenomenal job with the 3D models. Like, the 3D models really stand out here, but I also think the season had an easier time to 3D model, because the character design was, like, more, like, mid-ground between very complex and simple. Welcome in, Valentine's Eve! How are you? The Mega Robot episode of Smile Precure is one of my favorites. It's, like, the best gag ever. They made a 3D world, a couple years back, and they had the, like, they had the robot as a statue you could walk up to, and it would do a little emote. It was very funny. But yeah, I think for the 3D models are really good, and then, like, the background's okay. I think my only thing is it's not super on theme. It kind of feels very circus-y to me, a little bit. I was kind of hoping to have it more storybook themed, since that's, like, the whole thing is, like, fairy tales and stuff. It's a little less on theme, and then I don't love them sitting here in the void. The void, I think, visually is very cool, because, again, it's a darker background, and it really lets the character shine. I think for some of the close-ups, it looks really good. Like, this looks good for what it is, but the void is kind of boring. Like, I think they were doing, like, this was around the time where the Bolivia salt flats were really taking off visually for people, so people were like, let's have them dance on, like, an inch of water with a very reflective surface. But I feel like they could give us more here. I feel like it's a little too empty, but I do like that they were like, yes, let's have it bright and fun in the first half, and then do the darker background in the second half. I feel like they swapped that around, and that was a good decision. My favorite episode from the season is Peace's Father's Day episode. Oh my god. That's the other question I had. You actually just reminded me. Since the next episode for Precure is going to be, or you and Idol Precure is a Mother's Day episode. I was like, when's the last time that they did Mother's Day, Father Day episodes? Like, I feel like it's been a hot minute. And you're right, they did do one for Smile. I also like the episode of the transfer student meets Akane and falls in love with him. That was cute. I did like that. That was pretty adorable. Glitter Force has the worst 3D. I don't understand. Like, that's one thing that at the end of the day, there could be a number of reasons why they ultimately pulled the plug on Sabon doing Precure. But, like, I don't understand why they made new endings. Like, they literally commissioned some random 3D group who just made garbage endings when they have two really well animated endings. And they're like, no, I think, like, doesn't Glitter Force have, like, 5 endings or something ridiculous? And I'm like, why? Why did they do that? I think HappinessCharge, I believe, for the Father's Day, Mother Day thing. This is one of those things where I just need to go back through the seasons. It's been years. But yeah, Smile Precure I think is good. Maybe I should bring Sweet down and then move Smile here, because I feel like there's things that these need to do to be better. I am a HappinessCharge stan. We love that here! We love that here! More love for HappinessCharge. Alright, so we had Smile, ending 1. Oh my god, I forgot they have one for each character. DokiDoki ending 1, I believe. I love this ending a lot. I don't know why I had to, like, the 3D looks really good here. I really love this ending. The dance, I think, is one of my favorite dances of all time. This season's trickier because it doesn't have a great, like, theme to... I don't need the crow. I don't need that. It doesn't have a theme that it really stays on point with. They just kind of are on a stage, but that's because Makoto was a singer. I think the only... I think most of my fondness for this is just I really liked the dance. I love them floating on the hearts. I love that we have a dark stage background. I like that they're all, I believe, on their shapes. Yeah, they're all on their respective shapes. They have the dark background. The 3D's really, really nice. I just have such a fondness for this one. Just, it's so fun. They did so many of, like, the stage energy that they did. It's one of the best stages I think they've had. I think I just like it because I'm, like, trying not to get distracted by how much I really like the choreography for this dance. But overall, like, the stage looks so good. Like, honestly, this looks a little bit better than the stage we have now, because it's just so much detail going on. I love, like, this sort of dotted line that they have going for the background. I like that they've got the big... Like, honestly, this stage looks a lot better than a lot of the ones that they've been doing at HoloLive. They're so pretty. Have you seen Rose of Versailles? I started it, and then I started it on the train, and I forgot to finish it. I got distracted. You just reminded me I need to finish Rose of Versailles tonight. I began to like DokiDoki even more than Smile. Ooh, we love that. We love to see some love for it. I learned part of this dance with the hand motions. The hand motions are fun. Like, this dance is, like, one of, like, honestly, Precure dances in general are kind of actually, like, low-key hard. Both the songs and the dances are actually harder than you'd think they would be for a kid's thing. But the dance is so fun. Like, they have one of those, like, dance instruction videos, which I think they need to go back and start doing those, because those are so much fun. But, like, I love the wave that Heart does at the beginning. It's so cute. There's so much about it. I have a lot of fondness for it. Alright, DokiDoki I think I'll put up with HeartCatch, because I don't really have any complaints about the ending at all. It's one of my favorite endings. It's just fun. My bias is fun. I'm not explaining myself remotely well. Oh, if we want to talk about really good endings, I love HappinessCharge's ending a lot. This is where they came up with, like, the little bit more of, like, different weighted on their 3D models, which got popularized by Okami, the video game. For this kind of, like, inverted normals that they do for the 3D. And then it's, like, mostly got these, like, nice graphical backgrounds. They really had great graphical backgrounds for this season. Oh, I loved it so much. I think the only dance I fully learned is Sweet Ending 2. That one's a tricky one, too. That one, you gotta be jumping a lot. You gotta have some good leggies for that one. Hirozeta and Mommy should have a tea party? That's true. We need to gather all the all the tea magical girls. We must get them together. We need to do that. Oh, I do love this one a lot. I have a huge fondness for this, and I think I got solidified with fondness for this one also with the All-Stars movie. I absolutely love this. Like, the backgrounds are so nice. I really love the graphic design for these backgrounds. I think one of my favorite. I also love that they had all the 3D models for the different forms, which is just a pain to do. The expressions are really nice. The fairies are a little bit iffy, but you know, they're fairies. But, like, the expressions in this, they really popped off. They also did this shading for faces where they manually brushed in some like red and stuff on the faces and the arms on certain places. And again, they went with a lighter colored line art. It's not just a like harsh black. It's this nice like different weighted like very inky style stuff. They just did, this was such a good era for 3D. I really miss this kind of era. They've moved away from it a little bit, but God, like, I love that they do, like, again, I mentioned it before, I love when you do a white outline and then a drop shadow, because it looks like it's on, like, a journal. It looks like a sticker that you're putting on your journal. I have such a fondness for that. This one gives the comic book style and a paintbrush. Exactly. You understand me. You get me. I used to do ballet. No way you did! That's so cool! Tap and modern jazz so I can do it. Let's go! Oh my god, I didn't realize you were so talented! Oh my god, I can't dance to save my life. I just do it for fun. But, like, my sister did professional ballet, so I let her do all the dancing. But that's so cool, dude. Oh my god, you can help me with dance terms then. But, like, look at this. Like, this by itself as, like, a screenshot is so cute. Like, if this was not low quality, whatever, 720 they say. Like, if this one is at full quality, this would be a really good, like, wallpaper. It's just so good. They just did such... Precure has always been so innovative with its 3D, and I've really loved it. I love that they have the cards. Like, this is a cute way to shill out the merch, where they make these strips in the background, but they're all the cards that you can collect. That's clever. If you're gonna sell something to me, you better be smart about it. Sherbert Ballet is so peak. Exactly. Did you hear about the Precure collaborating with HUGtto? I did. I haven't watched either of those series. I'm such a, like, weenie when it comes to watching magical idol stuff. I need to. They're on my list, but the two series are so long and intimidate me. But, I mean, I need to do it at some point. I'm gonna have to take the leap. It's been a few years, so it's been a while, not professional. That's okay. You've done it at all. I think I did ballet for, like, a few years when I was super duper little, and then they were like, jazz, or, like, not jazz, I think they did tap, and I was like, I'm scared that I'll trip. I saw people tap dancing, I saw those feet moving, and I was like, my feet don't move like that. I've got weird feet, but that's a whole other story. And I ended up dropping it because I was like, I don't think I can do that. I can try doing, like, ballet, but I cannot do all of that. So I'm gonna let my sister with significantly better feet dance her life away. I wasn't flexible either, so I couldn't do the splits. I've never been able to do the splits. I was so jealous. Again, that's another thing where I'm, like, fighting on my sister. If my sister could do the splits, she'd do the splits on the ground. She would do that thing where she just picks up her leg and, like, puts it against the wall. And I'm like, okay, brag about it. Oh, I did learn a little street dance. That's pretty cool. That's super duper cool. Oh my god, I don't know, maybe we need to see video. We gotta see this cool stuff. You gotta share you can't keep that to yourself. Show us your skills! But yeah, visually, I love this one. I love this one a lot. I feel like it loses me a little bit when they're dancing on the hill in front of, like, the power thing. That was kind of random, but the lighting's nice. The lighting's really, really nice. The location, I don't understand. You've lost me. But, like, the lighting on this is so gorgeous. Like, the fact that they have this kind of, like, sunset light aesthetic to it to keep it a little bit darker and then make the girls, like, shine the way they do, it's really good. I kind of, like, low-key, hot take, I would have loved this whole series in 3D, because the 3D kind of looks better than the 2D. Because they have to use sharper lines. They can't use their, like, really hazy lines. But, you know, I had to throw in one hot take. I have to throw in a little bit of a hot take. But I really love HappinessCharge. This is where I'm just gonna be sticking everything up there. I swear. There's loads of DVDs of me dancing and dance shows the company used to do. That's so cool! That's so badass! Shout out to, like, your family making sure that they saved all of that. I think there's some performances of my sister, because my sister used to do, like, really big ballet. She was always in the Nutcracker for, like, 6 or 7 years in a row. And I don't know if we have any footage of that. But the only one that I own of them, of those who went to the school. But only I own them. Oh, only I own them and those who went to school. Fair enough, fair enough. We are the wings, light up the night. We are the wings, Light up the night. All right, skipping over to, oh my god, I forgot we had so many movies. Oh, ending one for Go Princess. No, it's not the movie ending. I mean, that's good too. Where's ending one? Do we not have ending? Why do I not have ending one for any of these series? We just have the Pumpkin Kingdom ending one. That's not what I want. Come here, come here. Come here. What are we doing? What are we doing? I need the first ending of Go Princess. Go Princess ending one. Not episode one, ending one. Oh my god. Ending. Oh, apparently there's a show called Go Princess Go. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ending one with the ballroom. I'm being sabotaged. Okay, there we go. Ending one, credit list. Oh, I'm already seeing it and like it's gorgeous. Perfect. So unfair. Where are the Go Princess endings? I know, what is rigged? The problem is the videos probably got deleted at some point. Alright, Go Princess ending one. Immediately I'm happy because I see the doilies. My doily bias is back. And then I forgot, like, again, the doilies. We talked about this for, I think we talked about this in the opening. But they have the shell one for mermaid, and then they've got the star one, and I love that it's on theme. It's for joy. The doilies make me so happy. This is like the one time where like they have a brighter background, but like they made the girls darker to try to like boost the contrast between them, which is fine because we switch into it like them light with dark. Like the flowers, I don't know if I love these flowers here because they're like literally just photos of flowers that have been cropped. Like you can tell by the crop lines that they just like chopped these bad boys out of where they came from and probably put a filter on them. But like this looks way better. This one looks better. The flower ones are rough for Flora, but like this looks gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. And then is there a mermaid one? Did I skip past the... Yeah, the mermaid one. The mermaid one's okay. They did a lot of, like, random 3D models for this one. Not as good. I think they did the best with Twinkle, because her 3D models look more normal. I do like that they, like, have the darker background and they're dancing. The red is really nice. They pop out. The 3D models are great. I think one of my favorite seasons, 3D model-wise, is still gonna be probably Go Princess. But I also think the style really worked for it. I love that they bring up the curtain. I do think the lighter background, for them being in the ballroom, doesn't do any favors for their colors. Like, this looks less impactful than this does. Like, let's be real. This looks way better than this. So they do that thing again where they go from a darker background to a lighter background for the first half, which I don't think is doing what it needs to do. But it is what it is. Alright, let me catch up on chat. Alright, YouTube is being bad. I don't know what happened. Oh, YouTube finding the videos. That makes sense. That makes sense. Go Princess Precure, my favorite in the whole franchise. Again, I call it the Zelda Skyward Sword. You mentioned that before, right? Yeah, YouTube is being mad by, like, suppressing all the good Precure endings. Which is probably Toei's fault, if we're being honest. Also, the actual ballet moves with the, I can read. Fortebras? Fordabra? Fortebras? Is it French? Is it French or is it Italian? The visuals are really good, and certain episodes really present great animation sequences. Exactly. Love the princesses. I have the headcanon that they're dancing in the Hope Castle when it's purified. Ooh, I like that. That's a good headcanon. Oh my god. I feel like I was a little bit negative with my episode review today. I think I kind of went off on a tangent. Dude, some people's theories in the comment section was bringing me back. I was like, I'm resurrected. Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm going on this doom train, and people are like, but a theory, and I was like, that's a good theory. This is why I make YouTube videos. It's because I love people with good theories. Oh my goodness. What are your thoughts on the new transformation song? I don't love the first bit of it, but once it gets into the chorus, I really like it. I think the chorus really catches me. It's French, and you said it correctly the first time. Let's go. French is, like, my hardest language. But I will persevere. But yeah, I think the beginning of the Wings song is going to take growing on to me, because it's one of those things where it's like, you know how you listen to a song on like TikTok and you only hear like the chorus of it, and then you hear the rest of the song, and you're like, wait, I only know that part, and then I hear the rest of it, and you're like, I don't know that. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about the Wings Club song right now, where I'm like, the rest of it doesn't seem to fit it. But once it hits the chorus, I'm like, yeah, light up the night. Let's go, baby. We are the Wings. Pour de bras. Okay. Bullseye then. Yeet. But yeah, it's pretty. I like this. But it also feels kind of in an interesting way. Like, the windows I feel like are fun stuff, but there's, for some reason, it feels kind of simple for a background in Precure. Like, it feels a little too realistic. I love this bit. I love where they transform into the larger dresses. I love that to bits. And they walk out the door and they do the bow. Dude, this is such a vibe. Or, well, they don't walk out the door, but, like, they're about to walk out the door. Like, they turn around and then they come back and they're like, yeah, like, ta-da! And then they bow. And then they go, ta-da-ba! I love it. And, like, again, the personality that we get with the 3D models is so, like, so pleasing. So pleasing. I think it's really good. But it's not ending too, so we're putting it in the donut tier. For now. Okay. Mahou Tsukai ending Uno. It's not, if that's the correct one. This one is interesting because they moved away. They moved back to having sharp black lines, at least for the beginning of it. They also try to have the balance of the line art equal again. Like, it's all the same weight, which I don't love. I didn't love the, like, jarring change back to it. Because, like, why does this 3D model look less good than these 3D models? Like, explain that to me. Like, these are so pretty. And then there's, like, this. Like, the line art just feels like it's the wrong color. It feels way too pronounced. And the face feels like it comes off. This looks like a sticker I'd peel off. I don't know why, like, I feel like they went backwards with the 3D models for this. But I do like the background. I do think the backgrounds are really fun for this. The mirror, I think, is really fun. This feels very much like the first HeartCatch opening. We have a sequence where they do more abstract backgrounds, and then we move over into this area. I think this stage is another really pretty stage. The red curtain, and them dancing around with the brooms. Like, the brooms, I think, are really what sells me on this ending, is just, like, them dancing with the brooms. And having, like, the darker background. Like, it stays on theme, and I appreciate that. The curtsy, right? Yo! I love it. I think the second ending music of Mahou Tsukai than the first. Yeah, oh, you like the second. Yeah. Nevertheless, the good animations, 3D models, IMO. I like the animation. I like the animation. I think the 3D models for me are a step back, but it is what it is. I honestly don't get that with this ending. The brooms are so much fun. M-A-H-O, Mahou girls. That one's fun. I just, like, for me, the 3D models, they don't feel as good as these ones. They feel, like, a little bit off. I don't know. I don't know if that's because they made the lines too thick. Like, it's such a balance. As somebody who's done 3D modeling, especially trying to do, like, cel-shaded 3D models, having a good balance on the line art and making the line art go, like, there's such a balance between the line art looks like it was, like, it's there because it has to be, or it looks intentional. And most of the time, if you just draw it on, it looks better than just letting it generate. Like, these look better than, like, whatever's going on here in the sleeves. And the sleeves look very flat. Like, this should probably have more dimension to it. Like, they honestly should have made this not one-sided. But that's 3D model stuff. Really, really nitpicky. I 3D model, so I know. Like, I'm gonna be way pickier about 3D models, because I know how they make them. But it is what it is. There's a lot of Mahou Tsukai endings. Oh, another good one. I rated this, didn't I? No, I haven't. I think I'm gonna put this down in brownie. Obviously, it's way better than these guys, but I think it's still a pretty solid ending. Yeah, I agree that 3D models and Go Princess are better than ones. Sorry, right? Also, they're giving us show tunes with that ending. True, 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 true. Also, the backgrounds are really pretty. They are really, really pretty for the Mahou Tsukai one. KiraKira, I think we went back to really good 3D models. Like, again, like, there's weighted line art. It's not black. This should probably be done here. I think that's an animation thingy. But, like, I like that there's different weights, especially in this one where the outfit just has a lot of different weight going on and the hair is a little bit more abstract and less, like, plucky. But, like, the 3D model, like, this feels so much more toony. The fact that, like, this line art gets lighter right here and then dark here, like, there's different colors within the line art. Like, it gets lighter here, darker here. All the line art has, like, weighted color, too. It's so much harder to do. It's so much harder to do in 3D, but they really nailed it. I think the mouths are the only problem, which, again, if there's things that suck to do in 3D, mouths are really hard. Like, I'd have to show you, but mouths in 3D are garbage. But, like, the hair here in these strips, so much better than they were for Mahou Tsukai. So much better. Like, her mouth is struggle busting a little bit. But that's because mouths are really hard. Like, if you've ever watched anybody who's a VTuber and has a 3D model, you'll notice that the mouth always feels a little bit off. That's because mouths suck. Mouths rigging and making them look good in 3D is a super big pain. Too smooth and overdone, I think it is. Potentially. But, anyways, talking more about the general, besides, like, the 3D models being fantastic for this season, other than, like, there's a little bit of clipping errors going on because they're doing a culling, so trying to explain 3D. There's a lot of different ways you can do line art on a 3D model, and they're very tricky and they're very technical. This one they're doing culling because it's supposed to be when it faces you, and there's not an edge, it won't have line art. That's why, like, when we were there earlier with her face at some points, her face sometimes didn't have line art, even though it should have. Like, you can see it start to go away because her face is facing us and there's not an edge. But if they detect an edge, then it will put an edge around it, and that's how they do the line art. But it's all based on where the camera is. It's really, like, complex stuff. But, the way they handled the culling here, I think it's not so much the artist's fault, but I think the 3D model programs, because I believe they announced in a couple of the past seasons that they use Blender, and Blender's the same 3D program I use. The culling method that Blender does is smarter than it used to be. It used to be kind of dumb. So it makes sense that there's culling issues with some of the line art, but the way that they handled it on As Much You Can as an artist is really, really nice. I wonder, have you animated 3D models before? I've not animated 3D models much. I mean, I've done it in my own time, but professionally, I've only made 3D models. I used to do a lot more environmental models for video games. I used to do a lot of, what's the word for it? Not commission work, contract work. But then I'm full-time graphic design now, but I used to do 3D models, but I wanted a job where I, could pay for healthcare, so I moved off of doing commission stuff and I moved into doing graphic design instead, full time. But yeah, like you can see here, there's some errors. This is just Blender being an old application, because the modern Blender doesn't do this, but you can see, like, the line art of her ear is, like, crashing into her arm, and that's the program. That's not really anything you can do as an artist unless you want to go back in there and go through every frame and, like, paint over that, which is a pain to do. I don't recommend it. So they just, like, there's going to be visual errors in here because of the type of art, and they're doing their best. Like, there's some culling issue going on right here in the eye. But for what they can do with how bad the program was at the time, they did their best. I think the 3D models look really good. The 3D models that they've imported for newer movies do well. Like, you can see here that the line art's crashing in there, because I think they must have done culling with a grease pencil. Which, again, if you don't know anything about 3D models, I'm speaking in tongues over here. But, for the most part, they did the best that they could, and I like what they were able to produce with it. But yeah, like, the hardest part of her is, like, the mouth looks funky, and that's because there's no lips. They literally have the edge of the mouth has like a black line painted on it. So that's why you can kind of, like, it looks like a mouth on top, like, it looks like it's folded in, because it is. That's physically what it's doing for the 3D model. That's why the mouth looks, like, a little too thick and a little too weird here, because that's the limitation of the application at the time. I know I'm, like, tearing this apart 3D-wise, but it genuinely is so good for the time period. And I love that they do it all the backgrounds are painted. I like that they go through these different, no, don't play, all these painted backgrounds are really, really nice. I like the kitchen. I like that it's very much on theme. I do think the background's a little too bright. I think it benefits from being darker, and I think the next ending is a little bit darker. But for the most part, like, again, the 3D models were pushing the limits of what you could with the technology at the time. And then it's got a lot of painted backgrounds that are relevant to the season. And then it also has really good dance. Like, it has a really fun dance to it. I'm putting it high for nostalgia's sake, despite, like, me just roasting. I put it up high. They did their best. They really did. I went on, like, a huge technical rant for that. I did not mean to. Alright. HUGtto. HUGtto, I remember being annoyed because they changed something in HUGtto, but I don't remember. I have to see it. What did they do visually with HUGtto? 3D models, I remember being upset with HUGtto. Oh, it's because they got rid of the weight. HUGtto stopped doing, or like it thinned out the weight of the lines and they look more lifeless. HUGtto, I do not like the HUGtto models as much. Like, this needs a little bit more going on. Like, this is too flat for me. And then they went back to, like, all of this shading here is not drawn in. This is the rendered one. That's why, like, the line's not even straight because they didn't even render it with the highest level of quality. Like, normally, it takes a lot of computing power to render shadows, which is why these are half-baked shadows. They could have baked these at a higher volume, and it could have looked better. Like, these shadows kind of look okay, but, like, you can see the anti-aliasing happening here because they didn't render it with a lot of sampling. All of this is very technical, nonsensical 3D language, but, like, they cut corners on this, and I know they cut corners on it, and I think that's why I hated it. Like, the shadows look like garbage. These are horrible shadows here. They're very terrible. Like, VR chat has better shadows than these. These are all just ugly, ugly shadows where you can see all the anti-aliasing on them. That's why I hated this ending. I hate it. Well, first of all, I think the ending kind of, like, suffers by just being in this background the whole time. They don't, like, they do a little bit of graphic, which is nice, but the most part, they're in this, like, they're in a little treehouse hut thingy that they have in this show. And then a little bit of the nursery. Like, they're all just at this location, which I don't love. But yeah, this 3D render looks significantly worse than KiraKira did. They cut corners for this. And, like, this is, again, where I'm telling you, the thicker line art with no weight looks ugly. Because, like, they just look how bad HUGto's hair looks like. This is so awful. Like, I think they drew on the lines for these bangs because this has weight, but everything else, like, there's no weight. It's the same weight for the line the whole time down. And it's absolutely abysmal looking. Like, the best of these 3D models is that people painted, like, the faces and the eyes. The eyes look better, but that's because they hand-painted those, and they're not 3D model. This turned into a 3D model review. I'm so sorry. Yeah, these shadows suck. There should not be these ugly shadows. The shadows should be very sharp and poignant, but you guys rendered it at a low value, so the shadows look like garbage. Which is such a step back from where we were last one. Because the shadows look better in KiraKira. If we go back to Kira... I'm gonna go back to KiraKira! The shadows look good. Like, they're hard. See these hard, crisp shadows? That's what happens when you render at a good quality. Like, hard, crisp shadows. Is because we're rendering at the appropriate amount of sampling. This is all 3D jargon. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna skip over to Star Twinkle. Because ending one of HUGtto infuriates me. It's such a step down from what they can do. And I don't know why they cut corners for that one. It bugs me. Now we move into a palette cleanser. Star Twinkle's really good. Star Twinkle, again, shadows rendered properly. They also didn't go for realistic shadows. Like, HUGtto did whatever the natural lighting is in there. Like, they didn't try to change anything about the shadows. The shadows for this are, like, multiply shadows instead of just, like, a typical gray shadow on there. Like, her hair shadow is pink. It's not, like, just a grayer version of it. These are good shadows. And then, like, they go for the really fun, like, they do a much thicker line art here. And it doesn't have a lot of weight. It has, like, a little bit of, like, a jitter going on in the line art, but it's not necessarily weighted, but the jitter makes it look a little more hand-drawn. And they do this thicker line, but they do it in a different color. And it makes her, again, look like pop art, because it's, like, outlined and then with a drop shadow. Oh, you're not gonna like my opinion when it comes to this ending look and music-wise. It's definitely, this was during an era where they did a lot more light line art, because I think this is at the same time, like, Flying Witch aired, and I think, like, the line art was green for that, and that was super jarring for a lot of people. I like this one because it's very graphical. I think it's very clean for what they're trying to do. And, like, I think the 3D models got better. Because, like, where KiraKira was suffering for the mouth, I think they really improved here. Like, the mouth, they were able to get the line a little bit thinner, and it looks a little bit more normal. I love the dark, again, I love the dark pop art. Like, the characters, you see them so visually here, whereas other seasons you get so lost on the background. I think the simple graphical backgrounds do it so many favors. For, like, again, I think the first half of the song should be graphical backgrounds, and the second half should be some kind of dark stage that they're on. Because, like, even here, just they made it, like, a little bit darker than her. She pops a bit. Even if it's colorful, it's still darker. And then the second one does even better. But yeah, okay, so there's weight painting here, because you can see the lines thin here, gets thicker at the chin. Like, they brought the weight back, as they should. The shadows are much sharper and much more efficient, especially with, oh my god, Soleil's hair. Soleil's hair probably is hated by a 3D program, but it looks way better. The shadows are lighter and more fun and vibrant, and just, there's a lot more thought put into it. I do think the second ending color-wise does a little bit better, because this is kind of bright. But the 3D models are going the direction they need to be going for the time period. I think just because of the bright background, I'm taking a little bit of a point off, but I'll put it back up here. These 3D models I find peculiar but nice. Yeah, they're very stylized, so it comes down to your own personal preference on the styles. But I like having that. I think it gives it character to it and it makes it memorable. But it's definitely personal preference. The music is not good for me. Never been a fan of the era of music that pulled from two endings sounding too similar. When I go to sing them, I always seem to mash them up together. Though, to be fair, I wish they did a remix of both songs. The same way that Mahou did a medley of all of her Precure music. And that's really good. Because she did, like, this Yes 5 Go-Go ending, both HeartCatch endings, and one other song was thrown in there. It might have been the HeartCatch intro. I'd have to go fact check it. I went on such a tangent about it. But yeah, this one, I like it because it's stylized. I think it adds a lot of expression. Because I feel like eventually we're going to plateau where the 3D models are only going to be a certain level of good. And then the only way to stand out is if you make them different. Because if we want to talk about different but still good, we go right into Healin Good. Healin Good, I think, has really good 3D models, but does something very different from the last few, because they go for a very, very thin line art that's gray, which they stick with. They stick with this for a pretty long time. Because I remember they definitely have this in the HUGtto Sky era. They go back to, like, a very thin line art, but it's, like, a gray, so it's not super dark. But the girls still look really good. The shadows here look good. It's a little rough right here. I don't know what they're doing here. But the shadows look the way they're supposed to. Like, these shadows look good. There's a gradient on the shadow. There's a gradient on the shadow here. It's better than HUGtto. HUGtto is so rough. I don't love that they're stuck in the field the whole time. I love this. Love this ring bit. This is easily my favorite visual thing they do here. Like, they don't go the graphical design one, and they rely on very simplistic 3D models for this one. Also, see, look, this looks good. This is a complete 3D model, and it looks good. I think the background's very boring, and these trees are very much like the same tree, just copy and pasted around a circle. The background's kind of weak, but visually it's okay. Because they keep the green makes the girls pop. They keep the darker green so that you can see these three. I do like to change the seasons. There's, like, very specific things that they do here that are nice. I think the background's just kind of boring. I think they got a little lazy on the background, but the characters look great. The models look fine here. Despite, like, not doing, like, heavy line art, the mouths still look a little bit better than they used to be. I love that they do. I love that they colored the eyeliner. The 3D models are fine for this. Like, I think this is being stylistically very different from Star Twinkle, but still looking good. Gorgeous. Oh, this ending is pretty. In the movie ending, the screenshot that I have of Grace serving the children. Yeah, the moving ones are so good. I love the. I know I'm not going through the movie versions, but the movie versions are always, like, a nice step up because they get a movie budget. But I have a huge fondness for this, where you're able to, like, again, Star Twinkle is so different from Healin Good's 3D models, but the 3D models still look good. Problem is the background's just too bland. So I'll put it here, which, well, now I feel like I need to move everything down. I'm gonna move you guys down here, move you guys to, like, HUGtto needs to go lower. Healin Good can go here. I think I'll put fresh in this tier. I feel like these all kind of, yeah, I can imagine these belong in the same tier. I might move Star Twinkle up. It's hard to choose. Oh my god, welcome in, Panic Duck! I'm so glad you were able to make it! No, not the notification going away before I can see it. Thank you for the follow! Hello! Link Ring's, it's a good song. We're not reviewing the song! I'm staying strong and talking about the artwork, but it's good. I remember liking Tropical-Rouge before we get to it. Tropical-Rouge ending 1. Surely this is ending 1. Oh, I also remember that they used the cheaper. This is when they do the like intros where they use the cheaper 3D model and then they use the more expensive 3D model for the ending song. I forgot that they did that. All right, this is definitely 1, right? This is ending 1, correct? This is ending 1 because Laura's not in it fully. She's just in it. I do think it's so funny that they smush her in here as like she's here. She just doesn't have a 3D model yet. They stick with the thin line art, so they basically did the same thing that they did for Healin Good in terms of the 3D models. And they're just obviously improving with the technology. Which I think is fine. I have no qualms with the 3D models. Again, they're doing much better with the, they just start to do so much better with the shadows. I'm sorry, I roasted HUGtto earlier visually, so I'm recovering from my roast. This is too bright in my eyes! Oh my god, I do love, like, the ocean visuals. I like that they do a combination of, like, a normal sky and then, like, have the, patterns. Go back to doing something graphical. I like the combination there. I also just think that they're, like, they must have had somebody on the team who's like, dude, I like drawing skies. So let me do a bunch of skies. Which, mind you, if you get bit by the sky bug, it's really fun to draw skies once you know how to do it. Like, there's so many brushes that are really good for doing clouds, because clouds normally are kind of a pain to draw, but if you get a good cloud brush and you figure out how to do clouds, they're so much fun. These 3D models aren't bad indeed. Yeah, I think this is just really solid for, like, the direction that they move forward with the franchise. I prefer the colored, thicker lines, but I think the thin line ones do what they need to do. I don't have any qualms with them. Like, this looks good. It looks good. I'm glad they're on a darker background. And then they have their, like, C one. Again, my only qualm is that, like, it's very bright, so it's, like, flashbang with, like, how bright some of the, sequences are at the end. I kind of wish they did, like, a sunset scene, so at least there'd be a little bit more contrast here, because it's just so insanely bright for this. Like, the only thing that makes these girls stand out is their color palettes. Like, honestly, we would be losing Summer if her hair wasn't, like, the bright colors that her little rooster hair. But for the most part, it's a solid ending. Like, visually, it's a pretty... They don't do much wrong. Can't go wrong with that. I'll stick it here. Maybe... No. Yeah, it's just good. It's good for what it is. I'll put that there. I sent you an image of Cure Grace on Discord. Okay. Do I have Discord open? Da, 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 da. She is cute. Ah. Somebody made that, the Healin Good ending on Wallpaper Engine. I've used it as my background before. Hello to everyone. We have more people with us. Yes, more the merrier. More of us can rant about Precure endings. As we should. As we should. Celebrate. Celebrate. All right. We are on to Delicious Party, which I also have to remember what the ending was for that. All right. It says Cure Precious version. Yeah, again, they use the cheaper 3D model here, but this one you can see that they try to do a little bit of weight, but this is definitely, like... It's cheaper. There's, like, no shading whatsoever. And then they get into it. I do remember the Delicious Party endings. I do like them. I have some fondness for them. I also like the music, but again, we're not talking about music. The 3D models, again, just doing the same thing. They have the thinner line art. Shading. The shadows don't look like crap. Actual firm shadows. The shadows aren't just, like, grays. They have color. I think I like the second one more, but, like, I like that they're on a dark background, they're on a stage, they do graphic. They do very similar graphics design stuff that they did, like, following the formula they had from Tropical-Rouge. It's overall pretty solid. I think it's a little like, there's not as much as they could have going on here. It's a little empty. But I think it's solid. I think it's a pretty solid ending. I prefer the darker colors. I think I'll probably stick it... Yeah, I'll stick it with Tropical-Rouge. I'm super late at this time. Never late. We're not even halfway done. Both endings for Delicious Party are so good. I really like the second one. It goes hard. Second ending, my beloved. See, you understand me. I'm trying to remember what the song for the first one goes. I definitely remember the second one because it's so pretty. Alright, HUGtto Sky. Oh man, I really remember liking the HUGtto Sky endings. Yeah, okay, so HUGtto Sky started to add these highlights to it. They added like a little bit of like gradients to it, which I think this is post-production. I don't think it's anything to do with the 3D models. But like again, they stick with the thinner line art for the series. Like they're doing everything that they did for the other ones. I think the post-production lighting is better. I think like having these mood lighting and then having these like highlight glows that they apply here, which I guess they'd have to do this in the 3D program for the highlights, is very, very nice. I think again, this is like evolution of the series. You also see that we don't have the chin problem that we had in KiraKira, which again is Blender became a better application to use for this kind of stuff. Like this is very, very nice. I am kind of bummed out for this one that they just mostly hang out in front of the house. Like, they do the same thing that we did in HUGtto. I love this. Like, again, like I said, the whole, like, journalism thing is so pleasing to me. I love anything with journaling. I love it when they do these kind of sequences where they go very heavy on the colors. Oh, I remember absolutely adoring these frames. I also remember doing so much theory stuff with the frames because the frames would throw in, like, little Easter eggs to other seasons. I'm trying to, because at some point in the frame they do the spaceship from Star Twinkle. I can figure out which frame it was on. But like these are so fun. I remember loving the frames. Big fan. Oh yeah, I forgot that they did like the weekly mirror that showed you the mirror pad showed you what happened in that episode. I just love the mood lighting. Like even if they're like I think the environment's kind of funky, like thankfully we're finally in the sky. Like the first half of it I think location-wise kind of sucked. But them being in the sky is nice. And then they tried to do a time of day, like they're doing like early morning here. It adds a little bit more dimension to the lighting, and it pops a little bit. It's still a little too bright for me, but I think it looks cute. I also feel like they never do early morning as like the featured time for it, but I think again, it's one where the second ending kind of pops off. Kirogaruism. Love these parts. The journal parts. The journal parts are so cute. Dear Shine Sky's ending showing all the past seasons logos is really nice. Yes! Exactly. You get it. You get it. If I can find a shot. Yeah, where they do all the past logos on the floor. I think that was clever. I like it when they're... I like the sky part of this. They also, I think they do similar for the second ending, where just, like, the sky bit... It's also very, very ending, too, for HeartCatch. Here, aesthetically. But yeah, and like at least the characters' colors pop up enough, despite like, for example, Prism has a very similar color palette to the background, but she's still able to like look pronounced. And they don't go too hard with the glows where things start to fade away. Like I think that's the downside to Delicious Party's ending one is that the glow is very, very strong, so the characters kind of like blurred in. Where it's like, let's take that saturation slider and let's drag it back down. It got a little too intense. We can fix that. We can bring it back. Alright. Soaring Sky. I might put that in. No. Ending 2 will be there. We have not. I've realized I have not had anything in Wedding Cake. I was like, I have no qualms with this. I don't know if this is gonna go in order of having Otana next. Oh. It does not have Mini left. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna have to look up, because I don't remember off the top of my head what Otana's ending. Because did Otana even have a 3D ending? I'm 90% sure it did not. Okay, let's trade. Otana, Precure, ending. I'm pretty sure just had, like, didn't it just have their faces and we ran past them? Yes, that's precisely what happened. I am correct. This is, like, I guess it's such a product of its period where we go back and they genuinely just, like, have, like, shots of the area and then she just, like, runs and you're like, oh, it's them and they're doing things. This is the opening! I take it back, I've been lied to. This one. This one. Girl, if you do not drag, thank you. This one. This is the ending, right? I'm gonna go nuts. Okay, this is just a spam of pictures, and then just, again, the characters. Which is just like, this is what an opening is. They kind of did an opening for the ending. It's whatever. Not me getting so confused. I know, I did the opening. This is surely the ending now. It goes to show you that I watched these 12 episodes and it went in one ear out the other. Dear Shine Sky's ending, showing all the past you can load. Yeah. The only time a guy gets to dance in the ending, Satoru is robbed. That's so true. Yeah, Otana had drops of Precure 2D ending. Yeah, yes, 5 automatically in the savory one. Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard to compare. I'm like, I've been on 3D model dance mode and we've been demoted back to just like another one, so it's just kind of whatever. It's an ending. Anyways, wonderful Precure! Woo! Wonderful Precure ending 1! Which I have a lot of fondness for this ending. I actually look, there's a really good post-mortem about how they made this, and they talk about using Blender and everything that they did. This one's fun. I like it a lot. I think my only thing is that the color palettes, it needed a darker background. But the 3D models I like. I like that they add, like, so there's an effect that they're doing here where they have the line art, but at the same time, they actually have it duplicated and it's blurred a little bit. And that's why it's got this kind of like very weird hazy feel to it. It's a technique I've seen in other series, but it like you can see it because you're like the line art doesn't feel as sharp as the other ones. Like the other ones you feel like it's very like boom, it's there. This one like you feel a bit of the haze. And it's one of the techniques that they used that I literally could not explain better unless I like actually pulled up the post-mortem and walked through it with you guys on how they did this. Only thing I had beef with is the 3D model be looking a little too 3D model-y here. I do not know why they didn't do cell shading on like this arena, because I'm like, why do you have garbage shadows here? Like these are again back to having the dark shadows. Like the characters have colored shadows, and then like this just has like you can see the gray. You can see the gray shadows, and I'm like, ew, why? Like, why would you have different shadows on them? Like, the 3D models, they're a little rough. 3D models of the set look rough. And it's not even that the 3D models themselves are bad, it's the way that they decide to, like, color the 3D models kind of sucks. Like, these are kind of fine. But, like, this, like, they literally just took the 3D model for the products and then just put them in here and then just went with the default lighting. They should have better, like, they should have more conscious lighting because obviously they put a lot of care into this, but, like, this looks like an actual real-life object, and then these guys look toony, and I hate that. I hate the, like, disjointedness of this. But again, this is something that no one paid attention to. Like, seeing this, like, borderline clay-looking ice cream here, and then having our, like, very toony girls over here, no one notices it but me. I'm one of the people who cares way too much. I care way too much. Because, like, this is fine. The back here looks fine. The rainbow looks fine. And then you look at the side pieces, and you're like, oh, no. Why do we have, like, Jimmy Neutron assets in our, like, Precure background? Jiaosei Evolution, I love the country old folktale dance. It's a good point. I love the ending is so expressive. The characters are fantastic. The dance and the characters are phenomenal. If we don't look at the rest of the set, it's fine. Like, oh god. Like, first of all, this color palette and the, like, evening lighting is great. But then you just, like, have all of this that looks hyper-realistic. Like, this looks like an I Spy book right here. And then we have 2 cartoons in the middle. And it's like, we gotta get on the same page as what we're doing here. There's too much inconsistency. I didn't pay attention. No one pays attention to it but me. I'm the only person who cares. I still find it white and caked here. That's so fair. That's so fair. The dance is incredibly good. Like, this, I mean, it went viral. Like, we had, who was it? Who did it? Lizzo. I think Lizzo did the dance. Like, this dance went mega viral. And, like, this, the sky's fine. The sky, the stars, like, the outlined glowing stars and the clouds are fine. Like, if we only look at this shot, it looks phenomenal. If we zoom out, it's a bad time. But this looks cute. Like, the lighting here is fun. I like it. The characters are bright enough against, like, kind of the background's got, again, the evening lighting, and it looks good. As long as we don't look at the other 3D models, it's super fine. Also, I like the beginning a little bit better. I think the beginning's more fun. And then they followed the structure that we had from HUGtto Sky. But I like the party atmosphere. I do enjoy this a lot. I think I'm just gonna have to bring it off the tier because of the bad 3D models in the background. Or the poorly, it's how they lit them. The 3D models themselves are fine. They just look ugly. Alright, I don't think my tier list, or my episode list here goes any further, so I'm gonna have to look up the other two. We need what? We need Mahou Tsukai Midnight Days ending. Okay. Remember how to do this because it does not have the same hotkeys as a Mac computer. I feel like the ending did a sort of like hyper-realism cartoony stuff. Well was Mahou Tsukai's first ending. I think they did well, so seeing fun, wonderful days, I'm like, huh, what happened? It's true, they distract you with the dancing. That's how they get you. I like this ending. It's definitely different. They didn't go for, like, the typical stuff for the endings. This is definitely more unique. But at the very least, it did this Sailor Moon thing, where for the most part, it's doing this unique art style. Like, here they're doing... What's the word for it? Like, it's a combination between, like, tarot card style, which fits the series, and, pins. These look like, the kind of pins that you would put on, like, an Ita bag. Because it's got, like, that gold outlining that you would have with a physical pin. And I like that. Like, if they're going to do anything for the ending, I don't want them to just draw, like, scenes from the show. I love that they do these whole tarot card things, and they look like they're, like, metallic tarot cards. And I like that a lot. I think that I like, because compared to Otana, they went very stylistic here and did something fun. Otana's like, here's a shot of one of the characters, but as an adult. And you're like, okay, whatever. These cards remind me of Cardcaptor Sakura, right? Very, very Cardcaptor Sakura-esque. But, like, again, tarot cards match the witch theme. It's perfect. They remind me of stained glass. That's, like, exactly. The tarot card stained glass aesthetic is, like, precisely, it's a good vibe. They do a little bit of animation, but again, they go back to this. This looks so gorgeous, and it's, like, it's artistic. It's not the show's normal aesthetic, which I really, really like. And then they shoehorn in the other forms, which, you know, gotta give it some love. I don't know how much Yoshiyama Yu worked on this ending, other than I'm pretty sure she did this bit. That's, like, her signature. But for the most part, like, the card aesthetic and, like, this tarot theme for it just works. When they said, hey, we don't have budget to do the 3D again. Do this. This is good. This is fun. This is fair. Again, it's hard to rank it since everything else is 3D for the most part. But I think it's really, really, like, actually, I'm gonna put that in Wedding Cake tier. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I think it's cute. I sparks joy. Okay. You and Idol 1. Which we don't have a second ending, so it's gonna make this easier for later. Oh, I see people's doing dance covers of this. Okay. This one I reviewed, obviously, in my review of the series. But, like, in contrast to everything else we talked about, I like that it's on a darker background. I kind of like that they do this backstage thing. I think that was really fun. I do think that it's a little oversaturated. I think that's my only gripe, having watched a couple of different ones now. The lighting in here, I think, is just a little too saturated. It's getting a little too Delicious Party with the heavy saturation. But I still think, like, they very much stand out in the backgrounds. I like that they, have these, the dresses that are them. Again, the dresses are a different type of media. I don't love the mixed media thing that they got going here. But at least here, where it's mixed media for the dresses, it's only the dresses. Everything else is, like, 3D modeled and lit to fit the cartoon aesthetic. So, like, the dresses being mixed media feels intentional, whereas the, like, 3D models slapped on to the wonderful Precure ending feel accidental. It feels like we just had to get this done. So Trio Dreams, I think, just feels like the mixed media. It's like Madoka, where the mixed media is intentional. It's supposed to be, like, kind of a little bit jarring. You're supposed to, like, notice that it's different. And it's also because the dresses change in the ending. And then they go to the stage, which is much better. The stage is great. I will say, I do like the stage in DokiDoki a little bit better than this stage. Like, I feel like this stage is not as impressive as the DokiDoki one. Actually, I feel like it's also very similar shaped. Like, if we go back over to the overhead, this is kind of very similar to the way they set up the DokiDoki one. I do like that they do the, like, the streak of stars the same way, that they did for, Link Ring. But I don't know why I find this stage less impressive than the DokiDoki one. But the 3D models are better than the DokiDoki models. But that's just because we've come farther. There's not too much to say on the 3D models. They're just like, again, the same general thing. Where they have a little bit thicker and darker line art than we've been doing. But it's still thinner than, like, KiraKira was. And then the 3D models are pretty expressive and good. Like, they have, like, you've seen the opening. These 3D models are really good 3D models. This ending is not bad, but I feel like it's kind of repetitive because they appear during the episodes because of their final... Yeah, that's true. You also get so much of the stage in the series. I do love that they get actual spotlights on them. I do think, like, that's the only excuse for them being kind of blown out is that there are, like, literal spotlights happening in this. Maybe I'm not used to this change, I guess. Talking about the 3D model animations. Yeah, we do get a lot of repetition. We get to really let this sink in. Like, you know, we've only made it into 13 episodes of this series, but I feel like we've seen this a million times. I do like this part, though. This is very, like, I mentioned it in my review for it. It's very TikTok-y. Like, Douyin TikTok, where they, like, do these, rays. Like, I think CapCut is the app that, like, made this a trend. The song plays on repeat in my head constantly. I mean, how can it not? It lives with us. It's here rent-free. Idol Precure, I think, is solid, but I think it's very similar to Delicious Parties. Alright. I don't even know where I ended up rating everything. I need to screenshot this one, because I will forget where I put the first season versus the second opening, or first openings versus, our first endings versus second endings. It's a day. Ugh. Not me accidentally maybe spoiling things. Dang. Okay. That should cover that. Well, I gotta go. Thank you for this stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Second ending soon. That's true. Well, I think we have to get to the 22 episode mark for that. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people are going to hate Trio Dreams given its final attack and the ending, but I love it this season. I definitely think I'm gonna get exhaustion, but at least, like, you know, when we walk away from this season, when we're completely done with this season and we walk away from it, like, we'll be able to look back on it without, like, remembering that we saw it 80,000 times. Then again, I will say, I absolutely, to this day, hate the song in Utena, where she walks up those stairs, because they, like... First of all, I don't think it's a good song. Hot take. I do not like that song. Second take, you have to watch it every episode, and I got so sick of those stairs. People are like... I think people have Stockholm Syndrome with the song from Utena, where they're, like, screaming at her intimidatingly as she goes up the stairs. But that's one where I'm like, wait, I heard it too many times, and I don't like the song to begin with. That's my hot take. That's my big take for the day. Okay. We're resetting. Now we get to do this. Okay, so we already... Oh, I forgot to reset my titles. Oh, wedding's here. Wedding cake. Donut. I'm so glad I did this with some level of, like, being able to remember it. B for brownie. C for cookie with icing. D for health bar. F for sugar. Just sugar. And then... I don't know if there's a lot of second endings I hate, because I usually feel like second endings mostly are an improvement from the last one. But just in case, I'll add a row below. Maybe I did too many. That's too many. Put salt in here. And then we'll just have the other tier. My god, we're gonna have to ban. That's what you came back for? That's what you came back to hear? Alright, so we already did, like... To go back. Do we even have a second ending for Max Heart? Go all the way back. No, listen. Star Twinkle, I love you, Queen, but we're not dealing with you yet. Too soon. Okay. Max Heart had multiple endings. It had 3. Good lord. What were the other endings? What were the other endings for this? This is not the same? This is the same. Maybe I accidentally watched it earlier, and that's why I'm saying it's the same. This is the dance? Yeah, this is the winter one where they did the dance, because it always ends in winter. Whatever. You know what? We know. I'm putting these in the salt here. Sticking them in the salt. These stair climbing accusations. T can't climb the stairs. I hate the stairs. I don't want to do it. I come back and listen to this. The stair song is garbage. You have Stockholm Syndrome. I said it, and I'll say it again. Winter Wonder Wonder Winter Yata. We're in my slander era. We're back at the beginning. So if you missed the beginning of the stream, we were very slanderous. Does Splash Star have a second ending? My memory is gone. Splash Star has, yes, 2 endings. Alright, what was the second Splash Star ending? Was it better? It probably wasn't. What is this ending? There is no memory. I don't remember any of this. This just looks like an episode, but like a sped run. What is this? It's just, oh my god. Stockholm Syndrome. You're stuck in a room with the stair song from Utena. You're forced to love it because you've heard it. I've not heard the stair song. You're okay, Ben. You don't have to watch it. don't watch the stupid stair home song. I'm losing it. I'm crashing out over the stair song. First Gumballa dance. Ah, that's what it was. Okay. I'm still putting it down here. We're not talking about the music. I will decide how I feel about the music a different stream, and we can be mad at me then. The first Gumballa dance. Okay. But that's okay. It's boring. Okay. My opinions have dropped. Yes, 5, ending 2. Did it have an ending 2? It did. I guess it did. I genuinely need to rewatch these because I don't remember them. Oh, I do. This is the Gumballa dance. Another Gumballa dance. At least it visually is better. This is visually better, and they do dance. This is how we got dancing. This is how we got dancing. This one's cuter. This is a cute ending. Alright, yes, 5 will leave the salty tears. I may check out the don't do it! Don't do it! That's how they get you! Also, you have to watch like 40 episodes of Stair Song, where they sing at you with an evil chorus. Yes, 5 will make it into... Actually, I think I'll do Cookie for that. That's not bad. Oh my god, I hate this version of the day. We are on opposites today, Ben. Usually you and I, same brain, not today. We're enemies. We're now ending song enemies. Alright, ending 2, go. Give it to me. It's still... Okay, so it is Gumballa Dance. But this one's less fun. This isn't the movie version. This is the show version, right? Yeah, see, they had it, like... I also don't know why I made this full screen. They had it, like... What is that? What was that? I can't even play that again. What was that? Just because you guys could animate more for this doesn't mean it was better. You're going down to sugar. Go-Go is my face. Remember, this ending had the incomplete version airing on its first time. You awakened to memory. Yes, 5 Go-Go is better. A couple of we do not agree. We do not agree on this household. Wait, did I not? Why do I have DokiDoki Precure? Get out of here. You're wrong show. Why is DokiDoki up here? DokiDoki. DokiDoki tried to take a shot. All the Gumballa dances are so ugly. Alright, someone's speaking the truth in chat. DokiDoki. Which is slander, because I actually really like the DokiDoki. Splash Star, Go-Go, and Yes 5. Oh my god, this is great. We're getting a little crazy. I'm losing it. Bring me back, Yes. For me, it's Splash Star, Yes 5. I like that none of you guys are the same. Unless I'm going crazy. None of you, I think, are the same. All of you have different opinions. As we do. Okay. Let's get a palette cleanser. Do we not have the fresh ending too? I genuinely... Do you not have the fresh... Toei Animation? Toei Animation, I am trying to do a tier list and you have the gall to keep doing this. I need the person to update their list because I know there's other videos on the internet. Fresh ending 2, which I think is better than the first one, if I remember correctly. Because it was cuter. It was cute. Not somebody... I immediately saw somebody have an MMD file. None of that. Not here. This one... Don't play. This one... Oh god, it's jarring, though, to go back to the bad 3D model. Not the bad ones, the old 3D models. They tried their best. Oh, maybe I should not have done this, going all the way through and coming back. I have to like have to reevaluate. Be nice to the 3D models. They're older. They were doing the best they could. I like this one better. I don't know where I ranked it before, but I do like this ending better. It's very graphical. I like the graphics a lot, and then they have the darker background that they dance on here. It's a fun one. And if I believe this is the lighter song, because I think wasn't the first one like a more jazzier song, and then this one's less jazzy, or am I getting those backwards? I'm obviously not playing the audio. I meant to ask this, are we gonna do a power up outfit rankings, including the movie ones? I think I'll have to custom make that, because if there's an already pre-existing tier list, absolutely. If I have to custom make it, it might be a while. I'm so lazy. I have to download all the images and upload them again. This ending is so creative visually. I like it visually a lot. I think I like this one better than the first ending. But the first, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not playing the music and I'm not looking it up right now. The second one has the softer ending. The first one was more, jazzy. I like this one better. I'm putting in brownie. They did an English version of the song. They did? Am I dumb? How did I not know that? I need an HeartCatch tier list. That would be such a good one to tier list too. I love that idea. I'm so like both the intro cards, like oh my god, I do have the video files downloaded for every intro card because I really like intro cards and I really like HeartCatches, because intro cards, I think graphic design wise they get very creative, and then HeartCatches obviously animation wise they have very beautiful things that they do, and some suck. Yes, Happy Together had a softer one. Thank you for helping me out. I was going crazy. Yeah, you're correct. This one is a less jazzy one. Okay. I genuinely, maybe I'm doing myself a disservice by not listening to these before I did this tier list. But hey, you get an authentic experience with me. We're going into this semi-blind. Because semi-amnesiac and blind. Alright. HeartCatch ending 2. The one you've all been really waiting for. Oh, tomorrow's song! Mahou Tsukai has really good intro cards. Oh my god, tomorrow's song is so good, dude. Them in the church background with the stained glass. I do think the 3D models don't look as good here as they did in the first one. I don't know why. I think it's because the line art. I don't know if they dropped the line art or it's just so hard to see when they're zoomed out. But, like, these just feel more like 3D models. I think that's my only diss for this, is that the 3D models look more like 3D models than they do, like, the 2.5D. And I think it's because they dropped the line art. And they're just genuine 3D models. Maybe the line art's just really thin. I don't know. Like, this does not look as good as the one for, the first opening. Or first ending. No, they have line art on these dudes. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're so zoomed out the entire time. You don't get them very up close compared to the other one. This one and the second. I do know that the HeartCatch, they have an English version. I did know that. I will not accept it. He debates. Take me to church and pray. The Precure Jesus mood. And I love that they go out here and, like, this is one where I don't mind them going out in the heart tree and, like, singing in, like, semi-floaty space. And then, like, Kobe-sama. I mean, like, this is instantly amazing because Kobe-sama is just chilling in the background. In my little rainbow tree. Like, I will say, like, for as much as I get kind of annoyed by, like, the sky background being too generic, they at least get darker, and they do the bubbles before they come back to being brighter. But, like, them being in space with the planet behind them, don't play. This, like, again, they pop out with the darker background. And, like, whatever they were doing visually here, they were cooking, dude. Somebody was cooking something solid. Yeah, I genuinely, they don't really have the line, either, the line art's definitely not on the hair. I think it's just they went 3D more model. We are not breathing blue. That's true. That's real. Just having Kobe-sama, it's a 10 out of 10 ending. Exactly. I'm putting in donut just because I don't like the 3D models dropped the lines, but other than that, it's like overall, like, this would be perfect. Like, if I had, like, small wedding cake tier, that's where this goes, instead of, like, full-size wedding cake tier. Alright, the second smile ending I remember being... Oh, sweet. I skipped one. Yeah, sweet Precure. Okay. Sweet ending 2. /3. We'll go to 3, because 3 has all the characters. I love this. I can't remember the names. Is this Kibo Rainbow? Dun, 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 dun. This is the one, because the other one's like powerful music. Getting them backwards. Dun, 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 you keep a rainbow. Okay. See, this is why I got Trace in chat, because Trace knows. Trace knows what the songs are. She's ready. She will clock me immediately. I like this ending a lot. I like it better than the first one. It's fun. It's very visual. Like, they kind of take the stage that they had before, but they made it prettier. They were like, you know how this was all gold before? Now it's rainbow. Now it's rainbow, and we got a bigger logo. The piano tiles, you know how those were just normal piano tiles? They're rainbow piano tiles. Like, they said pride. They said happy pride, and then they got all the tones in there. It's an improvement. It's an improvement of the last one. I have no qualms with it. It makes me happy. The 3D models look better than HUGtto. I'll put it up there. It makes me happy. I'm an ending specialist. You really are! I should have had you on for this. Ding dong nana iro. Boop 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 boop. Yes, it's the one I learned. Ah! I made too many ending tier lists to listen to these on repeat to not know. I, like, remember some of the names of the songs. Obviously, for the first few, I just absolutely forgot. And Hami, that's true, Hami. They literally, they fight enough like a married couple. They might as well be a married couple. Alright. Smile Precure 2. I just remember both Smile endings were very similar in my head. That's the first one. Did they not have Smile 2? They have New Stage. Okay, wait, no. They have one with characters, because I remember they start off with the character at the beginning, making a silly thing, and then it starts. But yeah, this one to me just feels like it's the same as the last one. They're so similar to me that it's hard to be like, I've never seen two endings just so insanely close to each other, other than, like, even the songs. You could probably blend these songs together. You could do a nice remix with both songs. I do like them in the dark background, though. Again, it's just not very, like, they had so many rainbows in this series, like, bright visuals and rainbows and stuff, but, like, I don't understand, well, I guess they do the book thing here, but, like, I wish they did more book stuff. Like, they could have really done a cool book background. And I feel like it was a missed opportunity. But it's a solid ending. There's not much I can say. I'm sorry, but Smiles endings are my least favorite. I feel like, again, they're just, like, my number one, like, both praise and complaint for Smiles. It's very generic. It is the most magical girl show that's ever magical girled. It's just the picturesque, it's a magical girl show. It doesn't do anything special. It just is a magical girl show. Okay, DokiDoki ending 2. I hate that they keep putting the movie ones in between here. It makes it harder for me to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Alright. DokiDoki ending... I don't know why I picked the first one. Ending 2. Here we go. Again, I love the DokiDoki ones. The stages are, like, why is the stage so good? Like, the stages, why are they better than the stage? And You and Idol can really up their stage game, because the stage game was so good for this season for no particular reason. Like, this is not the Idol season, but they had really nice Idols, like, ones. DokiDoki just went so hard. Like, again, this is what I meant by earlier, where the stage for You and Idol is incredibly similar. It's obviously based off the DokiDoki one. Why does the DokiDoki one low-key look better? Other than it's just, like, the burgundy color is not appealing, the design of it's very nice, where they obviously copied it, like, yeah, with the star and stuff. I think making it black and pink was a good call for You and Idol, but it's the same layout. They just reused it. But it's a good thing. They finally put the cards in here. Finally put the playing cards / tarot cards in here. This sequence I don't particularly care for. I feel like that's kind of boring. I can't get over Ai-chan float. This is so distracting. This one feels too cluttered for me for some reason. I can see that. They do, like, I feel like they don't have as many good spatial shots as they did for the first ending. But I still like the stage design. Like, I'm obsessed with the 3D model for this stage. It looks really good. Again, you think for all the people who have been doing, like, VTuber 3D model showcases and stuff, their stages don't compare to Precure stages. Okay, DokiDoki, I knew I moved before. I think it's a solid ending. Actually, don't. I might actually like. I don't know. I think there's things I like about the ending 2 more than the ending 1, but I also really just it's a solid one. I don't have a lot of complaints. I'm not a fan of the stage colors. Yeah, that's fair. I think the stage colors are the only thing where it kind of hurts because it's got such a burgundy thing going on, and I'm like, why? Like the burgundy and the green is kind of a choice. This is so grand. It feels so grand and open. You got. I get you. You get me, Avro. I get me. I don't understand this. Yeah, no one understands the color. The color's the one thing that's very off about this. I think the first one being more purple was probably a better color. Like the purple and blue because it matches Makoto more. Yeah, I think I also liked this. Whatever this Jumbotron they had on this stage, I think was a little bit better. I'll move it down. I'll move it down one. But like the stage designs went so hard. Like this is literally like this is the stage for this is the stage for you and Idol. That they reuse. This like outer ring, they should reuse that. That's really good. Not just doing the trio intro, they should do the outer ring. But also like the fact that you can see all of the stadium and you don't really get that vibe. Like they just made the stage like simpler for you and Idol throws me off because I was like, you guys made really, really impressive stages. I don't know, whoever the stage guy was for this one popped off. Alright, we're going to HappinessCharge 2, which, spoilers, I do not like this as much as I liked the first one. The first one being so graphical and fun was nice. This one, also they're doing the burgundy thing. What's with the burgundy and green? Again, I don't know why they keep coming back to this. This one feels a little, like, lame before, where, like, I don't... Also, this one having, like, a random idol thing in the second half always confused me, because I was like, you guys don't have a decent reason. Like, I get that Honey sings, but, like, she's not the lead. In the same way that, like, Makoto was the singer, so she's centered for the stage. Like, this is not Honey-centric. As it should be, though. Like, we need her to be the star. Also, the stage is significantly smaller. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of got the party thing going on, so it's like, this feels like you're at somebody's birthday party and performing, rather than the other one, you're, like, in a big show and you're the center and you matter. But, like, I feel like this was a very weird direction for the ending. Like, I'd rather they have done something different. Like, they had such a planet thing going on. There were so many different things that they could have gone that this sort of sequence to me was very weird. And again, I don't understand why it's so red. Party Have Come is one of my favorite endings, but visually it's so simple. It's interesting. They sing for their big attack. That's true, but it's random. It doesn't feel like this would have been the season where they would do that. Yeah, I mean, the reason why they do the ending is the innocent forms, but even the innocent forms don't match this at all. I would have much rather, like, them sacrificed it being darker, and honestly, it just looks really muddy. This looks so muddy colorly. Color-wise, it looks very muddy, because they just have, like, a lot of browns and greens and stuff, so it just looks like dirt. It's got very earth-tony background for some reason, which I guess it makes them stand out, but at what cost? You don't want your background looking ugly just to make your character stand out. But, like, the innocent form, like, I don't understand with the innocent form why they went to the idol thing in general. The innocent form is probably one of the most perplexing power-ups in a season. But also, I think it's because HappinessCharge had such a hard time deciding what it was. Like, both DokiDoki and HappinessCharge were incredibly confused with what the heck they were doing theme-wise. Which is why there's, like, not really any power-ups in DokiDoki. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the same problem for DokiDoki too. I think both endings struggled with we don't know what the heck our season is. This looks a little bit better. Like, the royal red, I think, looks better when they switch up the colors. Like, the royal red looks better than them going with the burgundy. Like, this, it does not look bad. But it also, it's confusing. Like, I feel like there's 1,001 directions they could have gone in, and I wish they just stuck with the graphical thing. Because ending 1 is really good. Having, like, the pop art sort of vibe that ending 1, like, ending 1 has such a pop art thing going on, and it's fashion oriented. Like, it started being like they had all the form changes, so it was so fashion oriented. And this is the one time where I feel like the merch was actually doing them a favor, because they really integrated the idea of the different forms, and the cards were all integrated. Like, this looks so pretty. Them inside the disco ball is great, and even the like them randomly on the field was a better decision than what they ended up doing for like this ending. It's just it's very random. It doesn't fit the series at all. And I get that some of the series struggle with theme, but, like, visually. It could have done something else. But then they make up for it with the All-Stars New Stage 3 ending, because that was good. Okay, I've ranted enough. Happiness Charge ending 2, I'm bringing down the health bar, just because I don't know what we were doing there. Go Princess ending 2, though. My bias. My absolute bias. Go Princess ending 2. This is the movie ending. This is the movie ending. Where's regular ending 2? Oh, you don't have it? You don't have it? Even though there's like 4 different versions of that ending, you don't have a single one? My goodness. My goodness. Alright, which ending am I gonna get? I could just go with Flora. Flora ending 2, Go Princess. This finally been we agree. We agree on something. Absolutely god tier ending. Oh, this ending is everything about it. The 3D models look so, like, they looked good in the first ending. They look even better in this one. Like, the blush that they have on them is so nice. The expressions are so good. Like, I love this. I love this to bits. Like, the dark background of this stage, like, this very global, like, not global, but, like, this very spherical, like, atmosphere that they're on is great. The characters, like, they look so good. They zoom in on the characters. Like, whoever did the camera work for this is great. Because, like, one of the downsides to a lot of, endings is that it's just them on a stage and we stare straight at them, and sometimes the camera gets, like, creative. The fact that the camera, like, flies around the characters in this, and they really took advantage of a circular stage that doesn't really have, like, one particular front-facing view is god tier. Like, this was so clever. The stage itself having these intricate designs and even having, like, the guardrails for them to, like, walk up and stuff, so clever. Like, even if it's a smaller, like, this is a smaller and simpler background compared to other ones, I still think they maximized it because they keep the tight camera angles so you don't realize that this stage is so small. Like, compared to the DokiDoki stage, this is microscopic. And, like, again, even for the Happiness Charge ending 2, they also had a relatively small stage, but you felt like it was small because you were only looking at it from one angle the whole time. This, they fly around with it because they made it circular, and they keep tight angles so you don't realize how tiny this area is. And then they do this whole, like, they're on, like, I don't even know. I think they go into their own little stages, but it's like, it looks like they're on a float. And then they maximize the flower petals, because, like, the other problem with this is that when you do, like, a stage, like, again, like the DokiDoki one, where you see everything going on, you have to, like, have a detailed background, and you have to go into it. But they cheat in a smart way with this, because they go nuts with these flower petals so that you don't have to see what's going on in the background. Like, there's literally probably just a void here. There's probably just a gradient of color back here. But they put the flower petals there so you don't care that there's nothing in the background. You just have the illusion that there's probably an audience. Which is so smart. Because, like, at the end of the day, the only thing we should be focusing on is Flora. So that's why they have the dark background, and then they shove the flower petals / confetti so you can't tell what's happening there. So you don't have to 3D model anything. This is big brain. This is being lazy, but being lazy in a smart way. This isn't my top 10, but I like it. I appreciate it. But I will say, 3D-wise, they were very clever with this. Because they, honestly, there's not much visually here. Like, this, the most we have is these audience members here, which I'm honestly looking at it, surprised how much these are 3D model, period. Because usually they just have the glowing lights and, like, a head. A floating head. They do look like there's bodies down here. But it's like, I think they copied and pasted the same kid over and over again, as they should. Because it's very irritating to make a crowd. But, like, again, there's not much going on in this background, but they give you the illusion that there's stuff there. Just with the way that they use the confetti and the way that they use the darkness. So you're not sitting there being like, oh, where's the back of the stadium they're in? We don't know. We don't know. Clever. The lighting is also phenomenal. Like, just having this gradient across it, the mood lighting, them being on stage in a spotlight, which is also realistic. If you're ever on a stage and you have a spotlight on you, you can't see anything. To be fair, that's how I feel mostly with Go Princess. It's not my top 10 for me, but I enjoyed it. That's so fair. I also love this. Where is it? This. I love this because I love a graphic scene. I like where they flip between the graphic visuals and then, like, the stage visuals. The dance is really fun. The singing is pretty good, but we're not talking about the singing today. We're saving it. Where was it? I just had it. This little part where she, like, does the little doo-doo-doo and, like, you know, like, ee! The animation here is incredibly cute. Incredibly adorable. Like, the facial expression here is absolutely precious. Obsessed. Obsessed. The use of glitter, like, the use of visual effects, like how they make their outfits sparkly and glowy and stuff, is so delightful. Like, I think whoever is on chart, like, there's different roles when you do 3D modeling stuff. Like, you have a completely different person who's doing visual effects versus the person who's doing 3D models versus the person who's setting it up and lighting. Whoever was on biz dev did an amazing job. Because, like, I guess if we look here, this is all just, like, one big shroud. Kind of like a circus tent kind of thing going on here. And then they, like, put spotlights at the top. You can't even tell. You can't even tell. They do a good job at hiding it. Like how Disney hides stuff. But yeah, like, this stage is not large, and there's not too much going on. They have a nice little chandelier, and they have, like, whatever's going on with these things. But it's pleasing. They were able to be more simplistic and 3D model less and use a lot of modular items without you really realizing that's happening. Which, again, work smarter, not harder, baby! Actually, I put that in wedding tier. I think this is definitely a wedding tier ending for me. Absolutely love it. Alright, Mahou Tsukai 2. Mahou Tsukai 2. Mahou Tsukai 2 I do think was an improvement on the original, visually. They still have, like, the sussy potato 3D models that are just kind of boring. But I do like that they added the highlights, because they now moved them outdoors. They can get away with these much, much stronger highlights, which I think is what makes it memorable for me, is, like, these really heavy, shiny highlights on them. But yeah, you can see some of, like, the 3D rendering on the shadows is not sharp as it should be. A little rough. There's some anti-aliasing issues. I mean, it's the same problem that, like, HUGtto has, where they use normal shadows. Like, all these are, like, gray shadows. These are not super well-colored shadows, which I kind of hate. But I do think it's visually... I love the gazebo. The gazebo makes me really happy. It feels more like a personal concert, like they were royally invited to perform. Yes, yes, yes. For GoPre, yes. This ending is alright. I think it's alright. I like the gazebo because I like a gazebo. I'm not gonna lie. I like them being on this, like, floating gazebo. Visually, it's fun. It's not, like, I gotta be honest, it's not very, like, nothing about this is very witchy. It's my aesthetic, though. Like, this is my bias kicking in. Where, like, the first ending I think is way more witchy. I'm glad they brought back the brooms. I like that they glow. See, this is, like, them turning, they inverted the line art so it's not black anymore, so it's white. I think that's a good decision. I think that sets it apart. I think it makes it special. Like, between that and the highlights, I think make it memorable compared to the first one. But also you can see when you invert some of it, the face looks a little bit silly when you invert all the line art. And there's Muffin. It's not witchy feeling, but I do like it better than the first one. I feel like it just did specialer. And then I'm not gonna lie, I'm easy to please. Throw in a gazebo. I love a good gazebo. Alright, and then very similar to Smile, I remember visually the second ending for KiraKira being very similar. I don't remember it being too insanely different visually. I do think they worked with darker backgrounds, which I think I mentioned earlier, is I do believe they worked with darker backgrounds and the darker lighting, which I think just made it better. I think the 3D models, again, are good for what they could do. And the darker background, I think, just makes it look better. It's less oversaturated. All they needed was a darker background, and it's a better ending. Like, I genuinely, like, I don't have many gripes. Again, this is where, like, so back to the 3D models and why I didn't like the wonderful ones. The way they handle backgrounds here, like, the stage is better. Because, like, you can see that it's got more toon shading to it. Some of it is just hand-drawn. But, like, overall, the background and, like, the way the stage is, doesn't have realistic lighting attached to it. Which I think, like, for stuff like the hockey that they have back here and, like, the chocolate straw thing, they hand-drew it. Like, they hand-colored it rather than letting it use the natural shadows. Like, for example, their shadows down here are using normal shadows, but at least they, like, colored them, like, a pinker tone. They didn't use natural shadows for the props in the background. And I think that's the difference between, like, a good person, like, we're doing a good enough job with the background, and then, like, actually knowing what you're doing is when you color the shadows and make it match. So that this, again, it matches the toon theme better than it does with, like, harsh, like, gray shadows. So, a la mode, again, I think it's just a very KiraKira a la mode. Again, ending 2, I think, is just a better version of the first one. But it's very similar. It's not too significantly different. HUGtto ending 2. HUGtto ending 2, I do remember being better than the first one. So HUGtto ending 2, I think they did a really good job at switching to a graphical thing, especially with this being a season that doesn't really have a strong theme to it. Like, the theme is somewhere between getting a job, having a baby, and time. Those are like the 3 themes for this series, which doesn't give you a lot visually to work with. And when you don't have a lot visually to work with, be graphical. Go to a graphic design thingy. Just have shapes. Be simplistic. And I think it works better for what they're doing with the 3D models, since they're going for, like, these very, like, flat-looking models. They're going very hardcore with, like, making it look 2D. They also lightened the line art, so it's not, like, black, which is better. Visually, I love this one. Like, I think there's only 2 that go very hard into the graphic design thing, which I think is ending 2 for Healin Good, and this one are the first ones I think those are the only 2 I can think of that go all in on the graphic design bit. And the pop art aesthetic, I think, works, especially, again, for a season that doesn't have a theme. This is a better way to go. Again, just like what HappinessCharge should have done. This is exactly what HappinessCharge should have done for a second ending. Because this is fun. And then again, like, the visuals here, obviously, because they're going for pop art, all of them, all the 3D models that they're standing on versus the stuff that's hand-drawn. Like, obviously these glue globs are, like, more hand-drawn. And done probably in post-production, or, like, with a very flat 3D model that has it, again, just, like, a texture that's flat and it's not lit. It matches. Like, the stage they're on genuinely feels like, I think they add, like, a little bit of reflection on here. They didn't add a shadow. They just did reflections. Better way to handle the stage. Like, again, this is what they should have done for Wonderful. At least in terms of that. Like, I think if Wonderful leaned more into its pop art vibe, I think I wouldn't have so much beef with the way they handled the 3D models. Because if they did a pop art version of, like, the lips, like, the lipstick, the lip gloss, whichever it is, and the way that they handled the Wonderful Pact, if they had, like, colored it this way, and they had lit it this way, instead of trying to use, like, realistic shadows, it would have looked way better. Like, this is the kind of aesthetic that they need to go with. And then, again, it works really well for this type of model. If they're going to do the lines the way they do, with, like, no weight to the lines are thinner than they historically do. It's way better. They just need to, the only thing they need to do is the rendering of the actual shadows they have here. First of all, they need to color these shadows. They need to not be gray. They need to be, like, pink, which is, they normally do some kind of, like, multiplied pink in here. And then they need to render it at a higher rate. Like, I don't know why they cheaped out on that. They have strong computers at Toei Animation. But this is significantly better. I think I'm gonna put it in, I actually put it in Donut. I think it's, visually, they did what they needed to do, and that's what they should do. Alright. Not Tropical-Rouge. Star Twinkle. I think I've kept calling Star Twinkle everything but its actual title. This one I love. This is not the right one. This one I love. This is an ending I absolutely love, because the Vaporwave aesthetic, for one, it's trendy. The Vaporwave thing was really trendy. You can make that work, like, what's it, like, cyber tropical? Like, that Miami vibe is so, it was topical at the time. You can make it alien, because it's, like, you know, it's a little bit foreign and stuff. But it's very visually fun. I think, again, it's so unique and it committed to its brand. Like, there's nothing about this that doesn't fit what they're doing. Like, Vaporwave, yeah. 80s Vaporwave is just, it's so perfect for this. It's quirky and it fits. Like this. For example, like, obviously, if they sat here and these were just normal, like, I don't even know, just, like, buildings and they had normal lighting, it'd look weird, right? Miami Vice, yeah. Like, if they didn't do these with, like, them being outlined and cool and glowy, it'd look weird, right? My arch nemesis of the 80s! I love that you have beef with the 80s. That's so funny. This is one of the most unique endings. It stands out. But, like, imagine if they did the 3D models for this and it was just a normal city. Like, they just stuck, like, New York or Tokyo in the background. Like, again, they consciously thought about every single element in this ending and coordinated it. The shadows are there. They go with reflection instead of shadow. Well, actually, I take it back. There's a little bit of shadowing here, and then there's reflection here. So they doubled. They did both a reflective surface and a diffused surface for that. But either way, they consciously did this. Every element of the background is well thought out. There's no random, like, 3D model that doesn't look like it belongs. The whole thing feels very uniform. And then it's a darker background. Everything about this. And then, like, again, so much of it just follows this, like, neon vibe that they go with. I also love the heart. Very cute. I also like the Vaporwave sun that they do. Like, this is an ending where the thought behind it visually all, like, was very coordinated. Just don't like it at all. It doesn't fit space to me. That's fair. Like, that's the only thing is, I think you can make a strong argument that this is not remotely space-themed. This is, like, space-adjacent. Which I'll give you that. I do think you have to go on a little bit of a limb to justify why this is space. I think it more leans on the fact that this is just a Funky Monkey series, and it's just got funky vibes. But, like, visually, this whole ending is so, like, from both a 3D model graphic design standpoint, this is an absolute case study of a decent, like, I put it in wedding tier, because there's really nothing that it does, like, other than being, again, a little off theme, it does nothing wrong. It's so airtight with what they did. Even if it's not your aesthetic, you gotta at least acknowledge that, like, it's very uniform. Every element of this was well thought out and coordinated, which I cannot say is always the case. Which is where, like, again, I know I'm being harsh on them, but there's absolutely areas where I'm like, I can professionally say they cut corners. Alright, and again, back to, like, again, I guess this is, like, a trend for all of the second endings. They go very, also, let me double check, we're on Healin Good, right? Yeah. They go for this more graphical background. Now, the interesting thing about this one is that this goes, like, compared to HUGtto, this has, like, actual, like, more 3D models. You can tell they're 3D models. And they're definitely in a more 3D model space, but again, it's more coordinated than it was for Wonderful Precure. And I love these, like, I love the graphic design. Healing Good Days. I hate this ending. Do you hate it visually or do you hate it musically? It's just sugar to me. That's so fair. That's so fair, Ben. This one is a disaster. Visually, I think it's fine. I am not going to discuss the song. Visually, I think this is fine. I do think that this one, comparatively, though, compared to HUGtto that didn't have a theme, I will say this is another one that I do think is off-theme. I think, like, for healing and nature and stuff, it doesn't read that way. This doesn't read as, like, the healing nature. Like, they kind of do it here where it feels a little bit storybook. This is what Smile should have been. Smile should have had a background like this. Visually, I think this is fine. Like, if you play this on mute, if you don't play the music, this one is fine. Like, visually, I think this is good. If somebody just took screenshots of this, you'd be like, this is pretty. This is nice. This is coordinated. The color palette is airtight. The only thing is that it stays very pastel and bright the whole time, and the characters blend in. The music is a disaster. Oh, I love this song. I love this song, too. What do you hate, Leo? What do you not? Do you not like the graphic of this? I know some people just genuinely don't like graphic endings, which is fine. Like, a lot of people didn't like HUGtto ending, too, because they don't like how graphic designy it got. As somebody who does graphic design for a living, I have mad respect for this, because visually it stays very... Again, it's another very organized season. And again, the 3D models match. Like, they go for a very, like, obviously this is a very geometric ending, so them having, like, these harsh geometric clouds, it makes sense for it. And then again, the shadows aren't gray. This has pink shadows. This has blue shadows with a bit of, like, these random things of green and blue, like, pink and stuff. I hate the visuals. That's fair. Do you hate them aesthetically, or... I don't know why I'm keep fishing. I don't know why I'm fishing. You have your... You can have your opinion. It is not for everybody. I like that it's coordinated. I like that it's the same. I visually, I think this one is fine. Is it my top tier aesthetic? No. But is it coordinated? Yes. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm, like, oddly defensive of this one. I'm like, why do you hate it? Why are there multiple ones? Oh, this is the Healin Good collab songs. This must be ending too. I agree the choreography- Oh, I didn't even think about the choreography. Yeah, the choreography is kind of, like, meh, isn't it? I didn't even mention the choreography. I was ignoring it. I honestly give this ending so much of a pass due to it having during COVID. That's fair too. But, like, the fact that visually it's more coordinated than other endings and they had to do COVID, I'm like, okay, but, like, what were the other ones doing? What were other seasons doing? Girl, be for real with me. Also, I like that I've gotten so much feistier for the endings than I did for the openings. This ending. I love this one. I think this one is fine. I don't think I have a lot of beef with this one. I think it's just, like, again, like Tropical-Rouge, I think it's very bright. I don't remember this one having, like, a lot of, like, contrast in it. I think the first one did better with having contrast in the song, because I think it's just bright the whole time. I do like the bubble thing. The little bubble motif and some of them, like, reaching their arms outside the bubble is clever. This whole bit is clever. That's a, like, irritating thing to pull off in post-production, but it was clever. It's funny because I don't remember the visuals for this ending at all. It's another one that's very similar to its first one. I hate this ending more than Star Twinkle. Oh my god. I love Akugare Go My Way. Now I remember what the song is. Now I remember the song. Da, 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 da. Yeah, this one, it's kind of the same as the first one. I like that they're in the ocean for a second, and then they're on their own little stage, their outdoor stage. I hate that they're on the roof of their school, but I get that, like, again, they love to do their, like, destination dances. But usually they do it for the first one and not the second one. But I guess the Tropical-Rouge Club took a hot second to, like, deploy. This is one thing I actively skip. Oh, we have firm opinions about this one. Yeah, this one I just, like, visually, I think it's too bright. I think that the backgrounds needed to be darker. Because, like, there's already, like, of all of the different Precure teams, this one probably has the loudest color palette. And, like, the background and the characters just all look so similar to one another. Like even with her hair on the red, it just kind of blends. It all just kind of, like, morphs together. And I'm like, you don't have your characters standing out that much against your background, which I think is, like, the downside to any kind of, like, little girl media, is that they're like, puke rainbows, go! And there's, like, no visual coordination, and it's such a bummer. But yeah, I think it's, like, it's okay, but I think the first one's actually better visually, but in the cookie tier. I think it's just okay. The 3D models are nice, though. But they were nice before. It's the same 3D models. They did not change 3D models at all. Alright. Delicious Party Ending 2. I like Delicious Party Ending 2 more, I believe. Oh yeah, because they went out here. Now this one is one where they did the opposite thing, where they have a bright background, but the darker characters. But the reason why they get away with it, is because they do these tree shadows. Like, I think this is the cleverest use of shadows, because in this one, like, also these are decently rendered shadows, like, because they literally have, like, they have some kind of texture up there that just has, like, transparency for leaves that shine, and then they have the light that shines down through it. But these shadows are sharp. They're clean shadows, despite, like, obviously being, like, a little bent up because it's supposed to be, like, leaves. But the lines are straight. You don't see, like, the anti-aliasing on the lines. Which means that they rendered this at the rate that they should have done for the other seasons. You described the Pretty series for me. Another reason why I haven't watched the Pretty series. Peak, delicious hearts. It's so beautiful, but, like, this is one where you, like, you create contrast by making the focal point darker and then the background lighter. But it still makes you, like, again, obviously you see our girl Precious here stands against the green background. Like, you can tell very definitively who is what. It doesn't blend like the way Tropical-Rouge was just now. Like, you can very much tell what the background is versus the main characters. Also, they got a blur. Like, they don't have, like, I know they love to do framing and, like, put a bunch of stuff in the frame of it to, like, make it more exciting, but I like that the background's blurred here. Like, I don't need to see the very defined cake. Also, again, shadows on the cake look good. This cake, that's obviously a 3D model and not a drawn cake, still looks like it matches more than... I know I'm bullying Wonderful, and I know you guys love it. The background objects in Wonderful are not... They don't have shadows like this. Whoever worked on this cared about shadows, and I think that's really, like, the masterpiece. And then it gets brighter as it goes along. But the characters still stand out a decent amount. I think we lose them a little bit as it goes on, because, like, this is a little too bright. I think we start to lose it a little bit, but the initial shadows, I think, were good. But yeah, like, look at these 3D models. They match the scenery. They look a little bit more... They look toony enough to match what's going on. They don't look like the poor ice cream we saw in the Wonderful opening. I'm so sorry. I'll stop bullying Wonderful. I promise. I promise. Wonderful taking all the shots a day. It's just the way they lit the 3D models. I'm mad because they were lazy. Well, at least Fun Wonderful Days is there. I know, we will talk about the second ending. But yeah, I think them also having this garden party too is unique. Because it's party, but it still stands out. Like, obviously it's Delicious Party, but I think it's cute that it's a garden party and not just, like, a typical indoor party. Because they kind of did that for the first one. But they're, like, literally on, like, a cake-looking stage, and they're surrounded by, like, tea and stuff. The one thing I will give them a little bit of, like, beef for, but it's hard to come up with a decent solution for this, is that, you can kind of tell where you can see that they just put plates here, and then you see all this empty space here. This is where they should have done, like, a bunch of flower petals like they did for, oh my god, for Go Princess. Because I can start to see the edging here. And again, the only person who cares about this. The only person who cares is me. Also, the plates are floating, if you didn't realize. They're not touching the ground. The plates are all floating. And the chair's there. Which, you know what, I'll go with, like, the Alice in Wonderland vibes. For the most part. Yeah, they're on a table, but, like, also the table's floating, too, if you haven't noticed. It's not touching the ground. But things touching in 3D is a whole other conversation, because that's a pain to do and make it look good. But you get used to it always looking good, because the people who do it are usually high-paid Disney animators. But anyways, they should have put flower petals on the outer rim. Like, I mean, even if they just, like, did green leaves or something, like a rush of leaves. Anything they could have done to, like, make this look a little less floaty. But again, the only person who's gonna care is me. And they're like, little kids do not care. Little kids do not care at all. Like, this tree right here, that tree was rough. Go back. This tree is looking really bad. But their trees always look bad. The trees always look bad because they don't need them to look good. Kids don't care. Kids don't care. Only I care. Only I'm here and I care. But, like, I love this curtain. This model here looks good. It's lit well. It doesn't look super jarring. I do think that they're very, like, very, very lit. Like, whatever spotlight they have on them, whatever, like, what's the word? There's, like, usually you just call it the sun. They have suns assigned to the characters that are not assigned to the rest of it. That's why the characters are such a different color than that, which is what you do when you have a 2D character. They have their own, like, spotlight so that the lighting looks toonier versus everything else. I do think they need to turn it down a little. I think the girls are a little too bright. But other than that, it's really good. It's very pretty. The green is really nice. Overall, I like it a lot. I also feel like whoever did this is the same person who probably did the, I think this is probably going to be, if I had to guess, whoever did this is probably what did, Trio Dreams. After all the drama with a certain series, I don't want to hear trees. I love the animation of Precious's hair blowing at the end, before going into the pose. Oh man, I wish I could watch that. I did get yelled at for copyright for when I did the openings. I assume because so many of the openings are missing from this playlist that they're also, like, the main things that they copyright at Toei, without a shadow of a doubt, is that they'll copyright the openings and endings. Like, if you're gonna take any, if you're, not that I should be like, if you're gonna, like, post any clips from a show, like, do not include the ending or, endings or openings, because they absolutely have that as, like, the default copyright bot is catching those. They definitely have those registered. They don't register the episodes, from what I can tell. They have to manually be like, you posted scenes from the episode. But yeah, if you post the openings or endings, they're like, we know you posted the opening and ending, and we are at your house right now to end you. Yeah, I think this is really nice. I like it better than the first one. I don't remember where I put it, but I'm gonna put it in brownie for now. Alright, HUGtto Sky, ending 2. And I guess we'll do the Majesty version. Oh, I guess it's because of the opening. I was like, why is there a Majesty version? I was like, oh, it's whoever does the opening. This is really good. It's always the same screenshot because people really hate a hate follow to the whole thing. I remember a few months ago when tons of channels were getting taken down for openings and endings. Yeah, they always have, like, they have waves. I also think they have to redo the, if they have a higher quality version of the opening, they have to re-put it through the system, because the system will look for an older version of it, but if you have a high quality version, it will circumvent the bot because they probably uploaded it at 720. And if there's a 1080, they're like, this is too nice and we can't find it. So they, every so often when they have, like, I'm sure they're eventually going to have, like, probably upscaled to 4K versions of these, and people who start uploading 4K will circumvent the AI that's tracking the copyright thing on YouTube. Fun copyright facts. This one's so good. Soaring Sky is absolutely phenomenal with visuals. This is one where, like, again, the dark lighting really pays off. Like, again, it's an improvement from the first one. I also think they do this very fun thing where they have bottom lighting. You don't see it often. Like, a lot of things in general will avoid having lighting coming up from the bottom because it usually instills a sense of, like, dread. Can I find an example image I can use of this without being a problem? All right, under lighting. I don't want that. Okay, I don't want to get anything too scary, but, like, usually the reason why you don't do underlighting, if I can just get an image without having anything else go on. Can I just view the image? image in a new tab. Alright, look at this funky one without it being too scary. This is the reason why you don't typically have under lighting, because it looks intimidating, because it's very unnatural for us. We're always having the sun shine downwards on us. So, like, a lot of people don't play around with this because it's scary. It usually, like, villains and, like, Darth Vader always has underlighting, for example, under him, because it's like bomb, 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 terrifying! Not that one. Close these guys out. But I like that they play around with it, because I think if you have it bright enough, because they have a light coming up from the bottom, and then they also have a light coming at the girls as well. It's 2-point lighting from the looks of it. I also realized that whenever I'm on the YouTube video, I don't think you guys can see my cursor, as I tried to, like, I'm viciously moving my mouse around trying to explain things, and I don't think any of you guys can see my cursor. It's weird, because you can see my cursor on the tier list. Like, there's my cursor. But when I'm here, oh, it's here now. Maybe it's when I click on it, it goes away. I don't know. I don't know why my cursor shows up sometimes and not. Anyways, lights coming up from the bottom, but also coming at the girls. So that's why it looks a little less creepy. Alright, I say girls, but it's like the girl and guy. But visually, I like that they play around with that, because it looks kind of like, it looks mysterious here. It's got like a more of a mysterious vibe with the lighting coming from the bottom, because you can see like the top of their heads have shadows. I like the lighting here. I like that they play around with it. It adds this, like, mystical, like, chill vibe to it. And then we see it move up. Like, here now we have it, because we went from night to, like, morning light. So we have the morning shining here, and we can see, like, the lighting going up and around on the characters, which is super duper pleasing. As we go through each of them, as the sun, like, rises higher. Because, like, the sun's, like, getting higher in each one of these frames. Before we go into the, like, I can't even, I have to do some editing, but I think you and Idols were blocked. They weren't anymore after my mashup on current Sentai openings. Yeah, I definitely think they're, like... I think one time I accidentally uploaded... I was trying to upload my draft for one of my review videos, I think during Wonderful, and I accidentally uploaded the opening instead of uploading my video, and it's like, this is copyrighted, and I was like, why is it copyrighted? And I was like, it's the opening. It's the full opening. No wonder they were like, there's a problem with this video, and I was like, delete that draft. That's not what I want to post. I don't want to get copyright struck. So be careful what files you try to upload. The ending, the debut, when Sora lost her will be a hero. I learned things usually happen around the second ending the hard way. Yeah. We love the technical explanations. The sky scene was so beautiful. The other cures deserved a scene like this too. This is, like, this flip-flop where, like, they make her color palette kind of, like, get smushed into between her and Mashiro is so beautiful. This is, like, insanely beautiful graphics to me. And I like that they like play with it. And the other thing is, this is the 3D model. Like, this is not drawn. Like, they just changed the colors. Like, this is a prime example that I, like, try to explain, where you can do any sort of coloring with the 3D model if you want to. You can change the lighting. Like, this is, like, kind of zero lighting. This is all emission. Which is another concept I don't have. I don't have it in me to explain, but, like, you can just do this with the like with the 3D models. You just change around the materials and how they handle lighting. And they can look really cool. And then we're back to, like, regular lighting. And I love it. I do think the mirror pad situation's a little, like, it's not my favorite thing that they've ever done in the franchise. It's not a gimmick that I love, but it's, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. And then them dancing on the table is still cute. But this sequence, like, this is, like, again, I know I talked about earlier, like, they just love to go in the sky. I don't mind them going into the space-sky continuum if it's night. If they do a night spacey scene like this, it's perfect. They should do this for every ending. Because this is what looks beautiful, because the characters stand out against the dark background. Even with, like, the darker clouds. Like, you can tell who the characters are versus the background. It's great. It's so beautiful, and you get, like, really good shots if the credits weren't in the way. If we didn't have these credits attacking me, I could really explain this better. I need to get a creditless version of this. HUGtto Sky once again being peak as usual, for real. Wing and Butterfly done dirty as always. They always do that to the supporting cast. It kills me, because they also did it in Star Twinkle. Where it's like, we could have a little bit more love. But, like, this, so gorgeous. All of this is really pretty. And you still get your rainbow. You still get your girly rainbow, but, like, it feels like you control the rainbow instead of getting consumed by the rainbow. I feel like I'm doing a Skittles commercial. Consume the rainbow. But yeah, this is very nice. I love it. It's such a good... This is conscious Decisions. Alright, Power of Hope didn't have another one, so we're just gonna... Wonderful Precure ending 2. I also want to throw Mahou Tsukai in Peak, just because it also doesn't have a second ending. You and Idol just throw it in Peak, because it doesn't have one. Last one to review! The second ending for Wonderful Precure. Which is another one. Again, I guess all the second endings, they move into this graphical one. This one goes into a stage, but, like, I love this. This is very also Star Twinkle opening. I love this. I love, you guys know me. Again, what else do I gotta say? White outline, drop shadow. I also like that they're all their drop shadows are colored to them. So obviously you've got, like, the purple one, the pink one, the green-ish one, and the blue. Welcome back, Marcos! We are on our last one. You're here for the finale! Shiawase Evolution, let's go! This is a beautiful ending. I genuinely think, like, them ditching 3D models was in their favor. This bit, like, this is a perfect, for me, this is perfectly making, like, Toon 3D, but using graphic design and having it look harmonious, because if it was any other earlier season, they wouldn't have been, like, if they tried to do this with, Fresh, they couldn't do it with the technology at the time. But this goes to show you how far 3D models have come. That they can look this good. Like, you can't even really tell, like, when I just go through here that these are 3D models. There's very few, like, tells. Like, if I gave this to somebody as a screenshot and asked them to tell me if it was 2D or 3D, or like, oh, what do you think of this image? Like, not knowing it's 3D, like, this shows you how impressive. Like, I think, compared to the first ending, I think this shows you how far the technology has come. They do such a good job. The Dooley banner at top, agree, it's cute! You learn this dance? I'm gonna have to start seeing these dance covers. Love the second ending of Wonderful Precure, love the song, the animation, 3D models, plus Cure Lillian. Exactly. I've learned that I love the voice actress Reina Ueda. She's a good one. She's a good one. But yeah, this visually is doing so much. Alright, now we're getting into, like, more of the 3D dance bit of it. Which I think their transition from looking, like, going very hardcore into getting that 2.5D, like, just trying to make this look as 2D as possible, and transitioning into, like, the 3D stage is, well, I think this is done well. And again, this stage is what they did better compared to the first one. Like, the 3D models look like they fit. The lighting is very coordinated. Like, this egg is a 3D model. It's hand-painted, though. Like, I don't think they really use a lot of shadowing, if any at all, on this. This is just completely a hand-painted 3D model. That's not relying on, like, shadows or anything. I think the only thing really relying on shadows is them. And, like, the floating bits in the background, they just look like they're hand-painted. Like, again, I think they just saw what they, like, did shortcuts on for the first ending and decided, hey, we're not going to do that. Oh, another thing I mentioned earlier. I just had the perfect shot. Okay, so I don't remember whose sleeve it was I was narking on earlier. It was probably HUGtto. You see how this is rounded? You see how this is actually, like, round? Someone else's sleeve was flat and it looked bad. They actually, like, this is actually got dimension to this little puff sleeve. I don't even, I'd have to draw it to explain what I'm talking about. But, they actually make this solid and it's not a flat plane, which is a good thing to do in 3D modeling for clothes. Is, like, even when you have something like this skirt where this would technically think you'd imagine this as a piece of paper, it still needs to have a little bit of dimension to it. And it also makes it easier to draw the line. Oh, so many things. But also, like, again, like, compared to KiraKira, where, like, you saw so much of this, like, outline would have issues with certain, like, bending of stuff. Like, here, the bending of the arm, this ends where it needs to do. And then they move around and that line moves with the curvature of it. This is because Blender got better at handling their, I assume they usually, I think for this they moved to grease pencil. I can't remember if they're doing reverse culling or grease pencil. I think they do grease pencil for this kind of stuff. And I think the grease pencil has gotten significantly better. Yeah, I'm almost positive this is grease pencil in Blender. The grease pencil does a lot better at, like, handling intersections and what should be in front and what should be behind, which is just where the technology sucked during KiraKira. Like, they can't help it. I think the only thing that's a little off, but I think it's intentionally off, is, like, the eyebrows, but I think that's an anime style thing where, like, eyebrows have, like, a little bit of transparency for the hair, but we need to remind you that there is an eyebrow there, because eyebrows very much control, like, if you've ever drawn a character before and you forgot the eyebrows and you're like, my character looks wrong, it's because you forgot the eyebrows. For some reason, eyebrows really, like, pull together the expression of a character. I think it's just, like, a human perception thing. Wonderful! Yeah, I'm not filming myself. We gotta build your courage. The models in such a flow with the dance too is so good. I love how they have Iroha and Kamugi's petticoats to flow so well too. It's so nice as someone who cosplays with them a lot. Yes! You get it. You understand. Yeah, I'm almost positive they're using grease pencil for this. I think the only thing I have is, like, I think some of the shadowing could be a little bit better here. It's getting a little choppy. I think they could use a little, like, these shadows look fine on the skirt. I don't know why the arm ones always look kind of rough. They need to render it a little bit longer. They need to have a little bit of a higher sampling for it. But again, like, also the shadows are all coordinated colors to, like, what aspect of the outfit they're supposed to be on. Like, the hair obviously has its shadow color, the skin has its different color. Like, the fact that you sit there and you think each object has a specific shadow color that we need to focus on is how to do it. Because I think it's like a little bit of a purplish tone. It's like, it's very slight, but I could like draw it. Like the shadow has a little bit of a very, very subtle purple tone versus being a gray, which is most anime characters are most like anime art that you'll see will have a purple shadow. Because it's better than gray. Gray looks kind of like, if you're going for realism, you'll do gray, but if you're doing anime style, a lot of people do a purple shadow. I do a purple shadow on all of the models I have. Like the one on screen right now has a purple shadow. But yeah, that's the last one. And I think it was really, I think I'll put this in Wedding Cake visually because it does everything that I want it to do. We actually had a lot of wedding cakes for the ending 2s compared to the ending 1s, but they really, like, they just improved. Like anything that they kind of sucked on before, some of them I think they got worse, but most of the time they improved on, at least like artistic wise. I think they improved on things that like models and stuff and like basics things there. I think my opinion on like contrasting backgrounds and oversaturated backgrounds is kind of a personal thing. It's something they did teach me in school, but like also I think it's a bit of a personal choice because again, little girl shows all have a huge tendency to just be like throw up rainbow as their color, and you just kind of roll with it. Have you ever heard of the recent anime series Zenshu? I think it suits you as an animator and anime fan. Is that the one with the girl with the purple hoodie? Like the black hair girl with the purple hoodie and the blonde guy? I have one person on socials who I think went nuts for it. I think it might have been Kawaii Heart, who was like, this is the best show ever. And she's been really convincing me that I should give it a try. I think there's so many shows this season. I need, like, I'm already behind. The only shows I'm caught up on are Precure and My Bashi Witches, which, oh my god, I am probably going to record my review for the My Bashi Witches episode after I finish this stream. Such a good episode, dude. Oh my god. Like, I related so much to My Bashi Witches to begin with, but this episode, like, struck me so hard on a personal level that I don't know how much I'm going to talk about it in the review, but it's got me feeling emotions, so I'm looking forward, but also dreading trying to talk about my opinion on that. Yeah, it's complete, but I still love the second ending music for Sweet Precure. Very, very fair. But yeah, Zenshu, I think I'll give it a try, because it's on the recommendation list. I just have to get through it. My Bashi Witches experience is never complete without tease videos. You're so sweet, Leo! Constantly hyping me. I really like My Bashi Witches. I didn't expect it to be so good. You finished all of them. I know. I should probably also screenshot this one as well. I'll probably do it after I close stream. I think I'm going to decompress for a bit before I move into doing more work, because I feel like all day I've been going hard. Like, I woke up, rolled out of bed, did my not wonderful, oh my god. My You and Idol review. I immediately went out for plant shopping. I got back home and I immediately streamed, and I'm like, oh, My Bashi Witches. I'll record it tonight, but I'll edit it tomorrow. And then put it out. But yes, we hate you on this household. I was scared that she was gonna get redeemed because I was like, this is the kind of series that would redeem her. And they kind of did. But at the same time, they put personal boundaries. Like, honestly, I gotta stop doubting My Bashi Witches because they do precisely what I want them to do, like, every time. They handle it as best as they can. I love it. It's Choco. Choco's gonna be the next character! I mean, sorry, that's a spoiler, but, like, not a big spoiler. Choco's gonna be the next focus character. I'm super excited. That means Kyoka is last. My theory for Kyoka could be true. That's me with your Precure reviews. Oh, you're so sweet, Ben. I'm so ready for a funny, goofy My Bashi episode. I know. Watch Choco have the most hardcore plotline, though. Watch Choco, like, kick me in the heart. Choco is such a precious being. I'm so I feel like every plotline has been emotional. So sad Choco is gonna absolutely destroy me next week for whatever the first half of her plotline. I'm gonna die. It's gonna be too much. I'm watching the I've Been Killing Slime for 300 Years season 2. Oh my god, I watched season 1 1,000 years ago and I own the manga. I should watch season 2. I really liked that one, actually. That was a good show. I thought that was really cute. That, like, most of the isekai, I feel like there's a lot of isekai trash, but, like, that one actually ended up being pretty sweet. I got a little attached. The people I laugh so hard if Choco has a hardcore. You know, maybe in my review I'll dive into it, but I'm like, you know, it's the brightest, the one that shines the brightest that has, like, the saddest TMist story. Like, she's gonna have, like, the most sad, tragic backstory, and I'm not gonna be mentally prepared for it. She's gonna be like, cake destroyed my family. Like, I don't know what it's gonna be, but, like, I'm not prepared for whatever Choco happens. There's no way that Choco's not gonna have some kind of, like, plot twist heavy story, and that's why she has to be so Choco awesome. It's good because it's hard to know what to expect with Choco stories. It's gonna impress us. They're gonna come out left field. Like, I barely could tell where they were gonna go with Mai. And it was so intense. And they just, oh my god. I'm sorry. I could spend 1,000 years talking about My Bashi Witches. Everybody should watch that show. It's so worth it. But anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Marcos. It's been so pleasant to have you guys. Oh my god. Anyways, I will see you guys next week. I think I will be free Sunday unless my friend pulls me back in. I try to have it at 2 p.m. EST, because I give enough people to watch the You and Idol episode, so I don't have to compete with my own episode for a stream. But I also will be streaming this week, I think either tomorrow or Tuesday, for whatever when the next chapter in the Infinity Nikki game comes out, and I'll be playing that, so I'll be around then. But anyways, I will see you guys then. So, until next time, bye-bye!